evening's starting lineups. First, the defensive starters for Blue Valley North Mustang. At defensive end, number 56, L.J. Brown. At defensive tackle, number 78, Brock Anderson. At defensive end, number 44, Reed Butler. At linebacker, number 32, Timothy Foster. 36, Nick Captain. And number 21, Stephon Camp. Defensive back, number 22, Khalil Allen. At the quarters, number 1, Dylan McCullough. And number 25, Marco Pollard. At free safety, number 6, Nick Kepler. And the strong safety, number 2, Kendall Fargo. Mustang's head coach is Mr. Andy Sims. And now the offensive starters for your Pittsburgh Purple Dragon. Offensive lineman, number 3, Brayton Letterman. Number 54, Sam Perry. Number 53, Matt Cicero. Number 75, Jorge.
I'm going to try and keep a drive summary this time.
Billy Bookout. Tight end, number 15.
Good luck with that, though. Let's see what happens.
Wide receivers.
I always have grand aspirations.
And number 6, Brett Weaver. At fullback, number 2.
It's hard to see that damn scoreboard right now.
Running back, number 25, Brett Freeman. And the quarterback, number 14, Ty Gore. Head coach for the Pittsburgh Purple Dragons is Mr. Tom Nicholson.
I like basketball season the best. And then baseball. Baseball has really good.
See how it makes me sound like I got a retainer in my mouth? Lopsided, like a 6A schools. Looks like it's going to be something else. I'm like, what the hell is this thing doing? I've never had a retainer. I mean, you should listen to it. It makes me sound like I have a retainer in my mouth.
It sounds like it's slowed down. Like, that's a thing that can happen. It sounds
I think he had me on the Bluetooth in his car or something, but then Snow and I played it back in the studio, and it still sounds like.
Beginning of the season, and at the time the kids hate it, maybe don't understand why, but it's when we get to these games, when it's going to go down and be a four-quarter game, and you still got to have your legs underneath you and have your wits about you at the end of the game. That's why they do all the running, all the lifting, all the tempo work that we do off season and summer. Is they'll have that when they need it. When they got a call on it, their bodies will respond.
Your defense has looked in the last couple of weeks, and kind of looking at some of the video on Blue Valley North. What's not shy about him down?
Yeah, no, they got the top 5 quarterback in the nation who's committed to Wisconsin. He's had offers from every major college.
They're down.
He's very good. He's a big kid too, 6'4", about 220. He can pull it down and run if you're just going to go straight man against him and open up run lanes. He's not scared about pulling it down and seeing what he can get. But they have excellent wide receivers.
You could also pot us down during the breaks.
And the way he diagnoses the defense and the zip that the ball comes out of his hands with, it's not hard to see why he's so highly recruited. He's a pretty special player.
And so, just mentally preparing your guys this week, I mean, you know that you're going to see a different level of opponent, but this seems like it's kind of a measuring stick game for your club as far as guys looking down the season towards the playoffs. I mean, playing a 6A
Yeah, exactly, and that's why we schedule these. It's not the only one we have on our schedule. The end of our season is loaded with playoff teams who made deep runs. But early in the year, against an opponent of this caliber, it shows you where you're deficient on offense, defense, special teams, and it gives you time to fix that throughout the season. So it's a very important game to us just because it's the next one, and it's a pride game, and our kids want to go out.
Did that fix it?
Sometimes the competitor is faced with a big challenge. They want to go out and perform well against that. When people are kind of doubting you or nobody.
Yeah, maybe not. I'll just turn them down during the breaks.
True competitors really rise up and give you their best effort, and that's what we're doing.
Roger that.
Best effort, and if they'll do that, we'll let the scoreboard be wherever it's at the end of the game. But, we're looking for kids to step up, to elevate their game to the level of play that it needs to be for us to compete with a team of this caliber.
On Blue Valley North, of course, you mentioned the defending 6A state champion Kansas, but started the season out this year a little bit rocky with a loss to Bishop Miege and then another loss to Blue Valley. Now, those both very good teams. So is there anything in that tape that you see that maybe you guys can do to try and slow them down?
Well, I mean, it doesn't. Whoever we play, we have to do what we do. We need to play to our strengths and try to eliminate our weaknesses. Now, yeah, they're 0-2, and I've had a few people say, "Oh, they're down." Well, Bishop Miege is probably the number one team in the state of Kansas, and Blue Valley is probably the number 3 or 4 team in the state of Kansas. So they play two extremely good teams. Have been tested already, and they've improved dramatically from week 1 to week 2. The main thing we got to do is try to keep their offense off the field as much as we can, and that's one thing I think our offense, if we're successful on early downs, leads itself to hopefully long time-consuming drives that can help our defense out. But no, we need to focus on our strengths, try to accentuate those, and just try to take away their 1 or 2 best plays on defense and route to the ball. So now there's not a lot of weaknesses that you can go after. You just have to focus on your schemes and your kids and make sure that we're executing to the best of our ability.
Game probably going to be a good crowd, a good atmosphere here tonight in Pittsburgh. Is there anything you'd like to say to the fans? Try and get them out there to the game because you've got a real good squad this year and a pretty quality opponent coming in. So this is probably the marquee high school football matchup in Southeast Kansas.
Well, they don't need anything to hear me say anything. Our fans always come out and support us. We're fortunate to play in a community where football is important. People donate their time, their energy, their money to not just Pittsburgh but all the football programs here. It's just a part of our community, a part of who we are. And when they go out there, we just hope we do the best we can to make them proud to be Pittsburgh and be Dragons. And they're always out there supporting us. So, no, we expect a great crowd because our fans always show up and give us the support we need.
That's Coach Tom Nicholson, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Purple Dragons. They're 2-0, but facing a big 6A opponent this week, Blue Valley North. Coach, thanks for your time this morning, and best of luck tonight.
You bet. Thank you, guys. See you tonight.
Welcome to Orthopedic Specialists of the 4 states, on a mission to restore patients' quality of life.
People feel like they're not in a doctor's office as much of it as a place of healing. And that's what we're really striving for.
From medical treatments and physical therapy, to non-surgical and minimally invasive procedures, to the most challenging musculoskeletal surgeries, Ortho 4 States provides a compassionate, patient-focused approach to world-class orthopedic care.
The Drive to Zero Coalition reminds us that every life is important and invites you to join the Drive to Zero campaign. Drunk drivers are involved in 1/3 of all traffic crash fatalities. That's over 100 fellow Kansans. Please do your part. Designate a sober driver and get home safely. Buckle up and eliminate distracted driving. And remember, in Kansas, you drink, you drive, you lose. Sponsored by the Kansas Department of Transportation and the Drive to Zero Coalition.
The true test of a great insurance agency comes when you suffer a loss. It's easy to take your premiums, but Ray Ryan of Ryan Insurance of Pittsburgh knows that handling your claim is the most important service an insured needs.
Claim is our chance to let your customer know that we'll be out there, not just sold them a policy, we'll also be there when the claim occurs to make sure it gets handled in an honest, respectable way.
Ryan Insurance of Pittsburgh, a trusted choice agency. Find them fast in names and numbers.
At Lindbergh Pharmacy, we care about your health. From a qualified and caring staff to services like our Time My Meds and MedPack programs, Lindbergh Pharmacy provides personalized service you can count on. lindberghpharmacy.com or on your smartphone with our free Lindbergh Pharmacy mobile app. You can also sign up for our text alert program, and we'll text or email you when your prescription is ready. Can't make it to us? We'll deliver your medications right to your door. Lindbergh Pharmacy, now 2 locations to serve you.
The pack is back. Pittsburg State's Family 4-pack, that is. Purchase 2 adult reserve seats to the Gorillas Hall of Fame, homecoming, or regular season final, and you'll receive 2 child reserve seats to the same game at no charge. So break out the red and gold, bring the family, and join Gorilla Nation for a game day experience you won't forget. Single game tickets for the final 3 games go on sale Tuesday, September 18th. Some restrictions apply. Learn more at pittstate.edu/tickets.
Now back to Dragon football.
Welcome back to Hutchison Field, downtown Pittsburg, Kansas, for tonight's Kansas High School football matchup between the Pittsburgh Purple Dragons and the Blue Valley North Mustangs. I'm Josh Lettner, alongside me Avi Sharma. And Avi, let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's starting lineups, get that out of the way real quick. It's going to be kind of a limited set of starting lineups because Blue Valley North didn't really provide us with much. They're kind of playing it close to the vest. I guess that's standard operating procedure up in the Kansas City area. But tonight, for the Pittsburgh Dragons at the quarterback spot, we've got Ty Rourke. Then behind him in the backfield, the tailback spot, Brett Freeman. Brandis Evans, the fullback, who's really the featured back of this offense. And then the wide receivers, Dylan White, his primary target, Brett Weimers, and Braden Letterman. And tonight we have a little substitution up along the front for the Pittsburgh Dragons, as Peyton Steele is out of the lineup tonight in the concussion protocol, and word on the street is that he will not return until the Ulysses game here in a couple of weeks. So Dragons will kind of platoon that position tonight. But up front, Jorge Estrada makes his return. And then you have Sam Herring, Matt Cicero, and Bentley back out. On the defensive side for the Dragons, and this, when you heard Coach Sims talk in his pregame interview, this is a group of players that really kind of concerns him for Pittsburgh High. Again, Steele out at his defensive end spot, so they'll platoon that one as well. Shea Mankin, Aaron Woods, Trent Austin, and Jarek Butcher and Ethan Whitert are the front 7 for Pittsburgh High, or the front 6, I guess. And then you have Dylan Jordan at his outside linebacker spot. Then Weimers, Kafka, Rourke, and Brenniger make up the defensive backfield for the Purple Dragons. On the offensive side of the ball, we have starters that we've kind of figured out by process of deduction here for Blue Valley North. They'll start their quarterback, Graham Mertz. He's a 6'4", 215-pound senior. He is a 4-star recruit, signed a letter of intent to go to Wisconsin, and in their 2 losses to start the season, he has over 600 yards of passing, so Blue Valley will sling it around here tonight. In the backfield behind him, but listed as a wide receiver, is Amari Pesek-Heckerson. He is a senior and one of the highest basketball recruits in the state of Kansas, but they don't run the ball, or they haven't run the ball too much this year, have Blue Valley North. Then the wide receivers, Cameron Bird, a senior, Danny Nam, a senior, Eric Roberts, a senior, and Zane Gibson, also a senior. So a lot of experience in that receiving core for Blue Valley North. And then along the offensive line, Jack Stallard, a senior, Austin Carnes, a junior, Jalen Hunt, and Jackson Townsend is what we could make out. And we'll get the defensive starters to you, I guess, on the fly. But going to be a very different game tonight than what the Dragons have seen the first 2 weeks out, where they pretty much overmatched Labette County and Chanute, both with their athleticism and their skill position players. So tonight, going to be a lot of more athletes on the other side of the field, and Pittsburgh High is going to have to make some adjustments as far as that goes, Avi. But you got to think that tonight, with the hot temperatures down here on the field, that conditioning and hydration is also going to be a big factor.
Yeah, and that kind of happened in week 1, Josh, when PHS had their home opener against Labette County. You had the hot, humid weather that was causing a factor. Last week, that wasn't the case, as it was pouring down rain. It was a bit of a swampy, messy game, but now it's a nice hot day, but a perfect day for some Friday night football, and it should be interesting. Both teams are going to have to do whatever they can to stay healthy, really. I mean, Pittsburgh, really, especially because they run a couple players that are on both offense and defense. So those guys got to stay hydrated. I don't know if they ate the bananas this morning, but they don't want to cramp up. And then for Blue Valley North, you just look over there, and there is so many kids.
They brought freshmen and sophomores too, so maybe they're looking for strength in numbers, the herd mentality for the Mustangs.
Intimidation, yeah.
But not nearly all those kids are going to see the field here tonight, hopefully. And but Coach Nicholson addressed that in the pregame interview. He said, they work on conditioning. They start in the summer, and it's hot down here in the summer. We all know that. It's hot here tonight. So hopefully his kids did everything they could to get conditioned for this game, because it's going to be a slugfest here tonight. And what we do know offensively about Blue Valley North is that they'll come out in some 5-wide sets. They like to sling it around. Graham Mertz will take off and run with it, although in the first couple games for Blue Valley, he has turned it over a few times after getting hit, so he'll put it on the carpet. And the Dragons are going to have to get after any loose balls and be very opportunistic here tonight against this high-powered Blue Valley offense.
And we'll see how that plays out right off the bat, Josh, because Pittsburg is going to kick off to Blue Valley North. And so we'll see what that offense can do. Now, again, the big question mark for Pittsburgh's defense is who's filling up Peyton Steele's position. Peyton was a very key factor in the first 2 games. He's a quick defensive end that can get to the quarterback pretty quickly and cause some problems. So we'll see if the next man steps up or the whole team steps up.
And they're going to need a good performance from pretty much everybody across that defense, whether it's up front putting pressure on Mertz or whether it's in the backfield covering his speedy wide receivers. This is really going to be a litmus test tonight for these Purple Dragons to see what kind of team Coach Nicholson has this year. The first 2 weeks they outscored their opponents 95-8. And so this is their first real big test of the year. And here's the kickoff. Back to receive at the 10-yard line, out across the 15, cutting up across the 20, and brought down at the 25-yard line. And that's where Blue Valley North will start this drive.
It looks like Nick Detmer was the one who returned that one for the Mustangs. And so now here we go, Josh. We're going to see what is going to be the determining factor here for Blue Valley North right off the bat. And you told me before this game is, they got some guys and they're not afraid to throw the ball and line up in 5-wide situations.
Now, last week, watching the video a little bit when they played Blue Valley, they threw the ball about 3 or 4 times over 30 yards down the field on their first drive. So you can look for them to try and go for a big play here as Mertz looks over to the sideline for the play, lines up in the shotgun. Back in the backfield with him is Nick Detmer, the running back. Here's the snap. They'll hand it off to Detmer, cutting inside, runs through an arm tackle, cuts back, and has a nice gain up across the 30 to the 31-yard line. A gain of 6 on first down.
There's Dylan Jordan with the tackle right there. And so Pittsburgh High, can't arm tackle against these guys, Josh. They got away with that the first couple weeks, and now here's fast-paced offense for the Mustangs.
Now quickly back up to the line. They're going with some tempo, but now Mertz looks over to the sidelines, trying to limit the Dragons' ability to substitute. Now he makes the call. 3 wide receivers off to the far side. 2nd down and 4. Here's a quick pass. Wide receiver bubble screen. Lit up on the outside. A nice defensive play out there by the Purple Dragons. A completed pass. Looks like it's going to be close to a first down.
A little bit short, yeah.
Big tackle out there on the outside by Sam Rourke. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and short.
We're going to put this 3rd and inches, really. So expect the up-the-middle kind of play here for the Mustangs. That was Jarek Butcher also who helped out on that tackle.
5 yards on the pass play, sets up a 3rd down and short. They line up in the shotgun again with trips to the far side. Now looking to pass. Here it comes. Broken up. Intercepted. Intercepted back the other way. Here's Joel Kafka at the 10-5. Touchdown. Pittsburgh High. And that Dragon defense is everything that Coach Sims was talking about in the pregame interview. And the defense lights the lamp for the first time tonight as the Purple Dragons jump out to a 6-0 lead over the defending Class 6A state champions.
Well, how about that right off the bat for Pittsburgh High? It seems that their defense continues to be dominant, and a great, what they call the tip drill right there, and great read by Kafka as he was able to pick it off, and no one was going to catch him.
And a 40-yard touchdown return for Joel Kafka gives the Dragons the 6-0 lead here with 10:37 to play first quarter. Now on to attempt the extra point for Pittsburgh is Caden Bressler. There's a snap. The hold is down. The kick is up. And it's good. And just like that, the Dragons jump out to a 7-0 lead over this vaunted offense for Blue Valley North. And the 4-star recruit on his way to Wisconsin throws a pick 6 on the first drive.
Yeah, and it looked like the problem was is he was watching his man the whole time when he was throwing to. And so when you're a defensive linebacker or a corner, that's the easiest read of your life. And so a great defensive play, and it was a tip drill. And then, Kafka, who wasn't even in the play at all, he just happened to see a ball in the air, and he was able to snatch it, and he was gone.
Yep. They read the eyes of the quarterback, jumped the passing lane, then it turned into a tip drill. Kafka comes down with it, and the Dragons pull off the Oski drill perfectly and block all the way down the field and give Kafka that lane to the end zone. And just like that, Pittsburg up 7-0. So that Blue Valley offense will get another shot here as Dragons set to kick this one away. 10:37 to play first quarter. And Pittsburg High, who just recently in the reclassifications went from Class 5A down to 4A, so went from one of the smallest schools in 5A to one of the largest in 4A. This is the second 4A opponent that Blue Valley North will have played this year. They dropped an opening matchup against Bishop Miege, and now down here on the road in Pittsburgh. Kickoff is fielded by Nick Detmer, and he's brought down at about the 29-yard line. That's where the Mustangs will take over, 1st and 10.
And so now here you go. The cobwebs have been shaken off here, Josh, as you got to settle down now, because when Pittsburgh has that momentum, their defense just plays even better.
The Dragons with a good pass rush and a good defensive backfield, so I'm going to test this Mustang offense here tonight. It's one of those things, though, where you don't want to get too high or too low if you're the Dragons, so just keep doing what you do. Shotgun formation, 4 wide. There's a low snap to Detmer. Quick throw to the outside off the hands of his intended receiver. That was intended for Danny Nam, and it falls incomplete. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
And again, it looks like he was just looking one way the whole time. Graham is, and that helps out PHS's defense quite a bit, but it was just a quick out route. I think it was just a little bit out of the stretch there for Nam.
And he had a lot of juice on that ball, too.
Yeah, he did.
They'll stay with the 4 wide split. And he works out of the shotgun, handoff up inside. And a good run this time, and it'll be a 1st down. As Pesa Kixon gets his first carry of the night, a gain of about 11 yards. We'll call it 10 yards. Be 1st and 10 at the 39.
Move the chains, and it looks like that is going to be the strong point here for Blue Valley North right off the bat, is feeding your tailback.
Yeah, well, it's one way to keep those pass rushers at bay. It's Pittsburgh High kind of pinning their ears back because Blue Valley North really hasn't demonstrated an ability to run the ball very much this year. Forward wide receivers split once again.
They're going to go with him
and
right
they'll
again.
Hand him off again. And a big pile up at about the 42-yard line. They'll blow the whistle. Blow it dead as Pesa Kixon carries it for about, we'll call it 3 yards. They'll bring up a 2nd down and 7.
And it's crazy. You look at Pesa Kixon, and then you look at Mertz just line up right by each other. Sometimes you don't even know who the quarterback is, Josh, is how big both of those guys are. Looks like it'll be about a 2nd and 6.
Mertz looks over to the sideline, gets the call. They'll stay with this 4 wide receiver split set as he moves Detmer over to his left. Quick pass is caught, and that's going to be trouble. It's a foot race at the 30-20, 15-10, and brought down at the 5-yard line. Nice play, not given up on it by Joel Kafka, who scored that touchdown on the interception return last time, saves a touchdown here, and the defense will have a little more life, but Blue Valley North knocking on the door, and there you see that big play potential of that Blue Valley North offense.
Yeah, and that was Cameron Burt, the wide receiver, who caught that one, so the senior having himself a pretty good catch there to get it now in a 1st and goal situation.
hand it off. And that is
Detmer.
Yep, Nick Detmer carrying the ball, and he'll pick up about, it's going to look like about 2 yards.
Yep. Clock continuing to grind, and now they got 2 big backs now in there for them.
Nothing doing that time. This Pittsburg High defense, when you get into your jumbo package and you try and win the battle between the tackles, that's a tough row to hoe if you're the Blue Valley Mustangs, and they're kind of out of their element trying to play power football here. I'd expect to see them to go back to that short passing game, Avi.
Yeah, and it looks like they're doing the spread offense again, Josh, and so they're trying to open out that zone a little bit, and that way that's hard for the inside run game to be there. So we'll see if they continue that. Now they're going to run a bunch formation here.
Yep, bunch to the far side. And Detmer's up under center. He tries to rush it in, and he has it.
Yep.
So Graham Mertz runs that one in, and Blue Valley North pulls it within 1 here after the big pass play on 2nd down and long.
Looks like Spencer Springer will be the kicker here for the Mustangs. That's right down Broadway. Well, I guess Broadway's the other side, so.
And we're tied up, 7:55 to play, first quarter. Dragons and the Mustangs knotted at 7. Dragon offense. Get ready to see the field for the first time when we come back. We'll step away for 30 seconds and we'll be back. You're listening to Pittsburg High School Dragon Football on ESPN 100.7 and streaming live on ESPN1007.com.
Wishes the best of luck to all area athletic teams this season. It has been their pleasure to provide great quality food products to area schools, colleges, and universities in Kansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. Burns Food Service is proud to be a 4th-generation family-owned and operated business with over 80 years of service to their customers, employees, families, and communities. Good luck to all area teams from Maroons.
Now back to Dragon football.
Welcome back to Hutchinson Field, downtown Pittsburg, Kansas. We got a ball game here, folks. Pittsburg High School Dragons tied at 7 with the defending Class 6A state champions, the Blue Valley North Mustangs. Blue Valley just went on a 71-yard, 6-play scoring drive to knot the score at 7 after giving up a pick 6 on their first drive. So this will be the first time the Dragon offense has stepped out onto the field tonight. There's the kickoff.
That's Freeman back there.
Freeman's going to field it at the 20. He's across the 25, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. Not terrible field position for the Dragons to start this first drive. They're going to mark it at the 31.
So we'll see, Josh, how this offense can do against this Blue Valley North defense. Again, it looks like size is a little bit in the favor of the Mustangs here, but speed's definitely on the side of the Purple Dragons.
We'll see. Dragons come out lined up in the I formation. They'll fake the handoff to Evans, throwing long and well overthrown.
Trenton Austin.
That pass intended for Trenton Austin, and we haven't seen Austin out there as a tight end or wide receiver very often this season. So you can see Coach Nicholson throwing some wrinkles at Blue Valley North, some different personnel than they're used to seeing, and that was there.
Yes,
he had a step, and Rourke just kind of overthrew him. But, first throw of the night, you're going to have a little bit of adrenaline on that one, and it was about 4 yards too much adrenaline.
It looks like Nick Detmer was the guy who was guarding him, the safety.
Now shotgun, 2 wide receivers to the near side. Dragons will hand it off, and Blue Valley shuts that one down for very minimal gain. It'll bring up a 3rd down and long for the Dragons. We'll call it a gain of 1.
Yeah, it looks like they tried doing the read option there, and the great defensive play by the Mustangs, as that was L.J. Brown, as he sniffed that one out the whole time. So that'll bring up a 3rd and long situation, expecting a pass here. And normally on these situations here, they normally have Rourke roll out.
Trips to the far side for the Dragons. Rourke will roll out to the far side. Throws back to the near side. Freeman's there. Has some blockers. Tries to use them, but good job closing on the play and gang tackling by Blue Valley North, and that'll force the Dragons into a punting situation after a gain of just 4 on that pass play.
Yeah, and it looks like it was a good idea. It had the Mustangs off guard at first, but then they sniffed that out really quickly. A great defensive job by, you saw it, I think there was only 2 Purple Dragons there, and there was like 6 Blue Valley North players over there.
And those blocks are a little harder to make against the athletes at the 6A level than they are against, say, Lebec County or Chanute on the outside. And Pittsburg High is going to take a timeout to talk things over. Coach Nicholson didn't have the personnel out there that he wanted, and he's not very happy about it, but the Dragons will talk this one over. 6:23 to play, first quarter. We're tied at 7. Purple Dragons come out, and they've got a 3-and-out on their first drive. And it's just going to be a little bit of adjustment, I think, for the offensive line and the skill players of the Dragons, because this is the most athletic defensive unit that they've seen all year, and it probably will be one of the most athletic defensive units that they will see all year. So, we've repeatedly referred to this game as a measuring stick.
Yep.
And right now the Dragon offense has a little bit of adaptation to do as far as the level of competition here tonight.
Yeah, and I really like how you brought that up, Josh. It's third game of the season, so these guys are definitely going to learn a lot from these guys, from this matchup that they're going to have. Obviously, it's going to hurt their record one way or the other, and so we'll see how it plays out for them.
Dylan White punts this one away. It's going to take a Dragon hop and be fielded at the 20-yard line. Now back the other way. Looks like he might have a decent return. Missed tackle out there. Another missed tackle, and finally dragged out of bounds.
By White, the punter.
Is Cameron Burt. Nice-looking return. There's a penalty flag after the play, well after the play.
Yep.
And we'll see if that's something shenanigans over there on the sideline or if it's lobbying by the coaching staff of Blue Valley North.
Might be something involving a sideline infraction or something like that. That was a very late call.
Yeah, you'd think if they were going to call a late hit out of bounds or horse collar or anything like that. There it is, personal foul against Blue Valley North. And that'll back them up 15 yards. And those are 15 yards Dragons really need, because that was a heck of a punt return as Dylan White kind of maybe out-punted the coverage. A lot much hang time on that rugby-style punt.
Yep.
And then fielded on the bounce very nicely by Burt. And a good return. Some missed tackles out there. Don't like to see those. Dragons really can't afford to miss tackles tonight, not hit open receivers, some of the things we've seen here early on. But that 15-yard penalty kind of gives them a little bit of cushion. But as we've seen with this Mustang offense, they can eat up yards in chunks. So
yeah, they can strike quick if they want to, or they can take their time with the clock is what it looks like they want to do. And they're spreading that field out again.
Lined up kind of in a little bit of a pistol this time. They've got to feel good about their ability to run the ball here early in the ball game. Now he's going to drop back to pass, getting pressured, going to step up, and Butcher hits him at about the 45-yard line. And he is down. Graham.
That is not good. If you are
Mertz is down.
North, yeah.
Yeah, he looks to be hurt. Looks like I'm not a doctor. I don't want to speculate, but it's a leg injury, and you never like to see those on a quarterback. And Mertz is in some pain, as we can see there. Those of you watching on the internet kind of see him writhing around there.
Looks like it's a left leg injury they're examining.
You know, you like to see your defense play fast. You like to see him be physical. You know, you want to put a hat on a man, but you never like to see an injury. You know, this is a young man who has a really bright future in the game of football and was looking forward to a great season this year, and you really just hope that this is something that he can bounce back from, because this is not what you want to see out of this matchup.
Yeah.
You know?
And I tell you what, I got to give credit to Mertz, because he had less than a second on the play clock, and he got that off. If you noticed, he was clapping his hands, demanding the ball. They got it off, and he's able to make a play out of it. And good sign here is he's starting to get up, and looks like they're helping him get up. But he
putting much weight on it.
Any weight on that left leg at all.
Nope, that's not a good sign for Mertz. And you know.
And now this also now turns to Kendall Hargens, as he is now the quarterback over there warming up, and so now Hargens is going to be the guy running this offense.
And, you know, everybody's always one play away, you know, next man up sort of situation here for the Mustangs, but you got to think that their offensive philosophy is going to change just a little bit. You might see them try and lock in the four-wheel drive and use those athletes up front to try and just run and grind on this defense, but we'll get to see here before long as the play clock is running. We're down under 20 seconds, and Blue Valley North still huddled up over on the far side of the field. They got 14 seconds, and they're not at the line yet. They may have to burn a timeout here. We're down under 10.
I think they might get this off. They will.
They will. And like I said, handoff.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice move on the outside. That was Amari Pesic-Hickson.
And I have a strong feeling, Josh, now that your starting quarterback's out, expect to call his name quite a bit.
Yeah, he's going to get a lot of carries, I think, here in the next 3.5 quarters for Blue Valley North. We'll call that a gain of about 12 on that play.
First and 10, they're going to run trips to the left.
Low snap, faked handoff. Now he's going to run up the middle, runs through an arm tackle. And, you know, you want to be careful how many hits you have your backup quarterback take in this situation. As Dylan Jordan getting up off the bottom of the pile. Kendall Hargens, the quarterback in the game now for Blue Valley, and he'll head over to the sideline to get the call from Coach Sims. And, you know, things, when you put that backup in, you kind of lose a little bit of continuity just in your play calling and getting people to the line, getting in and out of the huddle. So, and require an extra level of concentration now from the Mustangs as they're looking at a second down and long at the 44-yard line.
I'll hit the ground again. Able to slip away from one.
Man, he's elusive. Dragons need to wrap up, and he's going to have enough for the first down. And there's a flag.
Starting to get a little chippy out there on the field there.
Dragons not very solid tackling tonight. They've had some chances.
It's going to go against the Dragons
And that
as well.
penalty will be against Pittsburg High. Back the Dragons up even more. And this could be a big morale boost here for Blue Valley North. Your starter goes out of the game with a leg injury. And if they were able to just push this down the field with their running game and with a scrambling backup quarterback, that's a real confidence booster for Blue Valley North. Now, I don't know how that bodes for them in the upcoming weeks, but tonight it's a morale booster for them if they can punch this one in. Dragon defense needs to dig in its heels and break down and make good tackles. Shotgun now. Again on the dirt. That one's wrapped up in the backfield and brought down for the sack.
Good job by Brantley Bogart. He was the first one there. And again, Josh, that is about 3 plays in a row now.
Where your quarterback's taking a hit.
That Hargens has to touch that ball from the ground off the snap.
Yeah, and he's standing out there holding his ribs right now. And you got to think that maybe you got a handoff in the playbook somewhere. You know, when your back's carrying the ball for about 8 yards a carry, there's no reason to get your quarterback hit like that.
And that now puts him at 2nd and 15. So we might see the first pass here from Hargens. And they're going to hand this thing off.
And Dragons able to slow it down this time, stop him after a gain of about 4.
That was Pesic-Hickson as he went to the left side and nothing was doing on the left side, so he actually stopped and made a cutback and was able to gain a couple of yards, and now puts him in a 3rd and long situation.
Passing situation here.
About 10 on the play clock.
That doesn't seem to bother them too much. Now down to 5. Looks like they're going to get it off, and they do.
Roll out. He's got a man wide open in the corner.
And overthrows him.
Man,
that's a heartbreaker there. And now decision time for Blue Valley North. See if they're going to run out the kicking team or if they're going to go for it here on 4th and long. Looks like the kicking unit is coming out onto the field. Be wary of the fake in this situation if you're Pittsburg High.
Yeah, I mean,
you're down in the red zone here.
Hargens is the holder for the kick here.
Spencer Springer in for the kick, and it is up and good. Springer, a good-looking kicker. And the Blue Valley North Mustangs take a 10-7 lead, but man, the Pittsburg High School defense did the damage. They take Graham Mertz out of the game and really put a chink in that offensive chemistry for Blue Valley North, but nonetheless, Mustangs march it down and get a field goal out of the drive. Dragons trail at 10-7. We'll pause for 30 seconds and we'll be back. You're listening to Pittsburg High School football on ESPN 100.7 and streaming live on ESPN1007.com.
So schedule your eye exam in Pittsburg or Girard with Canard Eye Care, the clear choice.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
Welcome back to Hutch Field, downtown Pittsburg, Kansas. The sun's setting, a beautiful but warm night here in Pittsburg, Kansas. The Blue Valley Mustangs lost their starting quarterback to a leg injury, but managed to get a field goal out of the drive. They lead at 10-7. Now kicking off to the Dragons. Fielding it is Jordan at about the 5-yard line. Back the other way, loses the football. Dragons able to get on top of it, though. Oh, my goodness, that was...
flag is down as well.
And there's a flag, and usually that sort of thing's in the neighborhood of a hold or a block in the back. Very rarely goes against the coverage team.
And, Josh, I tell you, I was scared when Jordan was running with that anyways because he was doing like the NFL style.
Yeah.
He was holding it on the outside and running.
Tuck that ball, young man.
Like
might be the last time he returns a kick tonight for the Dragons. But Pittsburg High trying to put their best athletes out there with an opportunity to get their hands on the ball. And Jordan had an opportunity there, but lost it on the fumble. But Dragons fortunate to hang on to it, and they'll have it 1st down and 10 at their own 10-yard line. So field position in the favor of the Mustangs here, and this Dragon offense went 3 and out on their first possession. So trying to get something going here. And that's a good start. Handoff ahead for about 8 yards. That's Brandis Evans, his second carry of the night. And we'll see where they mark it. It looks like a gain of about 8 from where I'm sitting, but I have a terrible angle. We're going to call it a gain of 9. Brings up a 2nd down and short for the Dragons. So already a better start to this drive than they had on their last one. High formation. Back to Evans, and he's stifled this time in the backfield, and we'll see where they mark this one. I don't know if he's going to get any forward progress at all.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. It'll bring up a 3rd down and short. The sticks aren't moving. Well, they actually moved back about half a yard.
And they tried back-to-back plays, fullback dive up the middle to Evans.
Well, you look at that defensive front for the Mustangs. There's a lot of meat there.
And they're running a 3-4 defense as well.
A lot of bodies in that box. Quick toss to the outside, and they're going to get there against Freeman. He can't get around the corner. And that's going to bring up a 4th down punting situation for the Dragons. Another 3 and out for that offense. Just hasn't looked good tonight against the athletic front 7 of Blue Valley North.
Well, and you saw how fast they got to that halfback toss. At first, I thought that was a good idea, get it to the outside and see what Freeman can do. But the patient runner and Freeman had nowhere to go. And Jordan, this is going to be, or Dylan White, excuse me, this is going to be an important punt here because you want to get this thing as far back because looks like they're standing almost at the 50-yard line.
Jordan gets a punt, kind of shanks it towards the sidelines. It's going to go out of bounds at about the 45. We'll see where they spot it. They might get a better spot than that. And they do. They're going to mark it at the 49 of Pittsburg High, so about 4 yards further than I thought it went. But the Dragons still already on their own side of the field here, having to hold off a pretty potent offense for Blue Valley North, regardless of who's at the quarterback spot.
And you kind of look at that defense right now, Josh. Got a couple hands on the hips, a little frustrated, a little winded as well early here in this first quarter as they've been out there a little bit, and they
haven't gotten much help.
Yeah, they wore them out.
Best help for your defense is your offense holding on to the ball and keeping the opposing offense off the field, and that just hasn't happened tonight for the Dragons, and this defense not used to that situation. They're going to have to bone up here.
This is interesting. Look at this.
Got a little wildcat formation with Dylan McCullough. He'll go on the zone read. Dragons still can't wrap him up. Arm tackles, and they'll ride him out of bounds for no gain on the play. They string that one out all the way to the sidelines. The Dragons had a chance to get him for a loss, and again, he ran through an arm tackle in the backfield. And we've seen that several times tonight, but there's a loss of about a yard on the play.
That was an interesting formation there right off the bat for the Mustangs, and we'll see. I think they're going to keep this as well. So it looks like McCullough is going to be the guy.
This is their lock in the four-wheel drive. We're going to try and out-muscle you up front. And not a bad idea for Coach Sims as he's showing a wrinkle. They put it on the dirt, and there's a scramble for the ball. Pittsburg High has it. Dragon defense comes up big on the miscue. And those gimmicky offenses, you have skill position players who aren't used to handling the ball. And sometimes things like that can happen. We'll see what the officials say. Nope, they're going to call it third down.
Third down. Wow.
And there's a flag. There's another flag. What is going on here?
Yeah, I'm going to call
unsportsmanlike conduct against the Dragons. And another unsportsmanlike conduct against the Dragons is that there's two flags, so they can both be against Pittsburg.
Well, one of them was called on Dylan Jordan. Not sure what they called the other one, who they called the other one on.
Probably somebody who reacted to the first call. And let's see how far they're going to march this one off. Man, the Dragons can't get out of their own way tonight.
And Josh, that is a killer. An absolute
You had him
killer.
in a 3rd and long. And granted, you didn't come up with a fumble, but now it's 1st and 10 at the Pittsburg High 34-yard line, just inside the 35. A killer, an absolute killer of a call.
And Kendall Hargens is now back out there at the quarterback position for the Blue Valley North.
Hargens will take the snap, back to pass, looking. He'll throw it long, airs it out, a lot of hang time, up in the air, tipped away, incomplete. Back there to defend Dylan White and Brett Weimers, able to knock that one away from the intended receiver, Cameron Burt. Burt is the preferred receiver, he was the preferred receiver of Graham Mertz, and unable to haul that one in. Pretty tall kid. So if you need somebody to go get a jump ball, he's your guy. Couldn't come up with that one, though, in double coverage. Good play by the defensive backfield of the Dragons.
This will be the last play of the first quarter here.
Hargens takes a snap. They're going to try and turn the corner. Another arm tackle by the Dragons, and finally brought down out on the outside is Nick Detmer, and that's going to be a gain of about 7 yards. We'll see where they put the sticks here. It looked like 7 from here, maybe more. Yeah, 3rd down and super short. And that'll be the final play of the first quarter, a 9-yard run. And that'll bring the first quarter to a close. Dragons trail at 10-7. We'll step away for 1 minute and we'll be back. You're listening to Purple Dragon Football on ESPN 100.7 and streaming live on ESPN1007.com.
CDL has so many services to keep you safe in your home and business, like security and camera systems with 24/7 monitoring and the ability to control them with your phone or computer, or personal monitoring systems to get your loved ones help when they need it, and generators to keep things running when severe weather happens. And when you add our solar, electric, plumbing, and heating and air professionals, CDL is the choice to keep you safe. We're CDL. One company, so many solutions.
The pack is back. Pittsburg State's family 4-pack, that is. Purchase 2 adult reserve seats to the Gorillas Hall of Fame, homecoming, or regular season final, and you'll receive receive 2 child reserve seats to the same game at no charge. So break out the red and gold, bring the family, and join Gorilla Nation for a game day experience you won't forget. Single game tickets for the final 3 games go on sale Tuesday, September 18th. Some restrictions apply. Learn more at pittstate.edu/tickets.
Now back to Dragon football.
Welcome back to Hutchinson Field, downtown Pittsburg, Kansas. We're set to start the second quarter of action. Blue Valley North with the ball, 3rd down and short at the Pittsburg High 25-yard line.
It's like a flag on the play, and they're pointing towards the Purple Dragons side. And
let's see what the officials call. They call a false start against Blue Valley North. That'll back them up. Now the Dragon defense not in such a tight spot here on this 3rd down. Might be able to force a field goal or a 4th down. You're kind of long here for a field goal, although kicker for North has shown a good leg here tonight.
And Josh Cameron Burt is now at the quarterback position here for Blue Valley North.
Burt loses the snap on the ground. Dragons after him. He has it wrapped up and brought down at the Pittsburg High 43-yard line. So that quarterback-center exchange tonight hasn't been very sharp for Blue Valley, and it costs them again right there as Burt able to pick it up and save it, but not before that the result is a big loss of yards, and it brings up a 4th down and long here for Blue Valley, and you got to think that they're going to go for it here in this situation. Bad spot to punt. Well, maybe they're going to punt. They're bringing out the punting unit.
Yeah, and they were in. I felt like they were in Spencer Springer's range earlier before the snap.
Not so much now.
Now they definitely have to punt this thing away.
They're in Sebastian Janikowski's range, but I don't know. He's not here tonight.
No.
The officials
are going to stop the play.
Slowing the roll here. Fourth down and long for the Mustangs from the Dragon 40-yard line. Back to receive the punt as White and that's Joel Kafka back there as well. Here's the punt. High arcing punt. Going to go way into the end zone. And it'll be a touchback for the Dragons. They'll take over on their own 20. So Dragon defense gets a stop. Just what the doctor ordered. Now the offense. See if they can come out and at least burn some clock here and give the defense a chance to drink some water, catch their breath, because it's a hot night, and the defense has spent most of this ball game out on the field, and the defense trailing 10-7.
Yeah, this will be an interesting drive and a very important drive for the Purple Dragons. They need to get this thing going, and it looks like a trickery play that kind of worked out the very first play of the game that they had Trenton Austin that just didn't execute. So I think Roark just needs to calm down and relax in that pocket.
Shotgun, fakes the handoff to Brandis Evans. Long pass ahead. Dylan White catch at the 44-yard line. And he comes down with his feet in bounds despite the argument from the defensive back for Blue Valley North. Dragons offense gets its first down of the night. 1st and 10 at their own 44-yard line.
You have to credit Stephon Camp, the D-back that was on that play. And, I tell you what, that was just good back-and-forth battle between the two and even better ball by Roar.
Yeah, a lot of teams will use that run to open up the pass. I think the Dragons are going to have to prove they can throw the football in order to open up lanes in that rushing attack. Now Rourke back in the shotgun again. Evans in the backfield, trips to the far side, fakes the handoff, quick pass ahead. That catch is made. That's Kafka.
Yeah, he took a shot, but that's technically a good play there. Open it up, and they're taking a page out of Blue Valley North's playbook there as they're trying to spread the field out and try to get these guys off guard a little bit.
I'll bring up a 2nd down and about 6, so a gain of 4 on the play.
Evans in the backfield with Roar. Trips to the right. They got one-on-one matchup to the left.
Sticking with the shotgun here on this drive. They'll hand it off to Evans right up the middle across midfield to pick up a couple yards, but got to keep that defense honest. And Evans will take it to midfield, a gain of 2 on the play.
3rd and 4, interesting situation here. You can definitely both pass or run, but I believe they're going to probably do something with the air game here. Last time on a 3rd down, they ran a wide backside screen that didn't work out in their favor.
Just too much speed on the edge by that defensive front for Blue Valley. You're going to have to probably put the ball in the air here if you want to pick up these 4 yards. Now Freeman in the backfield with Rourke. Trips to the near side. Here's the snap. Rourke rolling out. Hands off to Freeman. And then that is blown up in the backfield at about the 44-yard line. So right back to where the...
Almost line of scrimmage. Yeah,
the original line of scrimmage for this set of downs was. And now the Dragons in a punting situation. Freeman gets caught in the backfield. You're not going to get much going in the backfield with those slow developing plays for Pittsburg High. They're going to have to pretty much just throw it down the field.
Yeah, it was a very delayed halfback draw on that play, and it
just too much speed for a slow developing play like that. Now White back to punt. This one an end over end punt, going to be fielded at the 20-yard line. There's an obvious block in the back, no flag.
White again, the punter, making a play.
Yeah, your punter's one of your best athletes, and now a little smack talk coming from Dylan McCullough.
And there's an injured Purple Dragon down on the opposite side of the field. That's a leg injury as well.
Let's see who that is. I can't see the number from here, and there's somebody between us and them.
I'm not sure who.
Wait and see who that is. .8:53 to play here in the first half. Dragons trail it 10-7. Offense got things rolling with their first down of the night on a 24-yard pass play from Rourke to White, but unable to pick up another first down as they had a couple running plays stifled and had to punt it away. A good punt return by Dylan McCullough. And you might think about angling those punts out of bounds from here on because the Dragons have been kind of exposed in that punt coverage.
Yeah, that or get them high. That way McCullough doesn't have time.
Or, the refs could call the block in the back that occurred at about the 20-yard line that seems like everybody in the stadium not wearing black and white saw.
Still interesting here to see who it is that's currently down PHS, and looks like they're able to get him up, and I think
that's Sam Rourke.
That looks like Sam Rourke, yeah.
6'1" junior, defensive back, and sometimes running back. He is able to put a little weight on it. Not much, though. Doesn't look good. He's struggling, and in quite obvious pain coming off the field. And that's, again, something you don't like to see. You like to see a action-packed game. You like to see big hits and whatnot, but you never like to see anybody get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And Rourke getting some assistance from the training and coaching staff as he makes his way off the field. Play clock has not started.
Oh, and Josh, to tell you, as bad as that is for Rourke and company, though, it was an extended break for both sides as they were able to rest up a little bit and collect themselves, and now 1st and 10. And I tell you what, for Blue Valley North, things are clicking whenever the quarterback gets the snap correctly, as they are having a tough time on those snaps from the delivery, and that's been a problem for this Mustang team in this first half.
No, Dragon defense scored the only points of the game for Pittsburg High, and you kind of get the feeling like when you used to watch the old Ray Lewis Baltimore Ravens, the defense is going to have to score again for the Dragons. So there's a good snap that time. Pass is complete, and the tackle made at about the 43-yard line. Pass complete to Amari Pesic-Hickson, so good hands on him. Again, I said earlier, he's one of the highest recruited basketball players in the state of Kansas, so you know he's got some hands. And he'll bring up a 2nd down and 1.
An incomplete pass. That one looked like it was intended for Cameron Burt right across the middle. Great defensive play by the Purple Dragons. And here we go again, Josh, a 3rd and 2 now. Short situation for the Mustangs.
they have demonstrated a good ability to run the football when that center quarterback exchange is clean. And we'll see. They line up in the shotgun, 4 wide receivers again. And what? There it is again, and the Dragons have it.
Yeah.
Pittsburg High on top of it, and that's a big turnover. The fumble recovered by Sam Herring, the junior, able to get on top of it for Pittsburg High, and the Dragons take over at their own 47-yard line. Exactly what the doctor ordered for the Pittsburg High defense. They come up with the turnover, get the offense back out on the field, and those defenders can head over and get a drink of water here, as they have certainly earned their pay here tonight.
And right now, if you are Blue Valley North, you just got to get on that sideline and work on those snaps because something is not right.
Yeah, get up under center.
Between that connection.
Typically, the shotgun is technically easier than the quarterback under center, but woof, not tonight. There we go, Joe Rourke across the 50, down to the Blue Valley 47, and a fake handoff to Jordan drew the defense off to the far side, and Rourke able to hold on to it and pick up about 7 yards there on the run, and that's the best-looking running play for the Dragons all night.
Yeah, it was a fake jet sweep to the right, and they ran a quarterback keeper to the left, and that was a great job, and now they'll go back to the ground and pound. It looks like it's an I formation for the Purple Dragons.
Evans and Freeman in the backfield behind Rourke. 2 wide receivers off to the far side. They'll run option to the far side. Rourke pitches out to Freeman, rounds the corner, ducks his head, and he'll be driven out of bounds at about the 41-yard line. We'll see
if they got it.
See if they got this first down, and they appear to because the chain gang's on the move.
This is a good drive right here for the Purple Dragons. They got the momentum now as they want to keep that momentum, and they want to get down into red zone positions and try to get a score here. 7:30 and counting on the clock.
Play clock down to 10 seconds as Rourke brings them up to the line. I formation, 2 wide receivers to the near side for the Dragons. Handoff goes to Evans right up the middle, fullback dive. And he'll cross the 40 up to about the 39-yard line. A gain of about 3 on first down.
That's a good opener. Really.
It's not too sexy, but it keeps the clock rolling, and it keeps the defense honest. And Brandis Evans is one of your best athletes on the team. You got to put the ball in his hands and hope that eventually he's able to bust one of those for a chunk of yardage.
We've seen it a time or two that Evans can do that, and so it'll open that up. And now it's even opening up the play action possibilities as well.
Shotgun now for Rourke. 2 wide receivers on the near side. They put Jordan in motion. Man comes free. Ball long down the middle. Caught! Dylan White! Touchdown! Purple Dragons! Just like that, Pittsburg High's offense comes to life, and they're breathing fire here in the second quarter as the Dragons jump out to a 13-10 lead on the 40-yard touchdown pass from Rourke to White.
And there it was again, the play action that I just called out, and a beautiful pass to White. And I tell you, White is one of the fastest guys around here, and it's tough to keep up with him. And a great post route that was able to good throw by Rourke right through the middle.
Now you've seen him get behind the coverage a couple times tonight. That time it paid off for the Purple Dragons. The kick is up and good. Pittsburg High on top, 14-10. 6.5 to play here first half. We'll step away for 30 seconds, and we'll be back. You're listening to Pittsburg High School football on ESPN 100.7 and streaming live on ESPN1007.com.
GM Bank has been in the banking business since 1918. That's right. GM Bank has been serving customers like you for over 100 years. We're deeply rooted in the communities we serve with expertise in small business and agriculture. We're time-tested and people-centered. A lot has changed over the last 100 years, but as a family-owned bank, our commitment to our customers has only grown deeper. GM Bank, the best place to bank and borrow. Come see us and let us give you our best. GM-bank.com.
Member.
Football time, $1 per chance. If you're successful, you can attend.
Welcome back to Hutchison Field, Pittsburg, Kansas. Purple Dragons took advantage of a turnover, a fumbled snap by Blue Valley North, and they drive it about 58 yards that time. They're capped off by a 40-yard touchdown pass from Rourke to White. Give the Dragons a 14-10 lead. Now a little life back in this crowd, back in this team wearing purple here on the near side. And we'll see if the Dragons can stop them again here on defense. Herring set to kick this one away. High end-over-end kick. Going to be fielded at about the 15-yard line.
Look out.
And look out. There's a flag. Brought down at about the 32-yard line. That was Tessa Hickson on the return. And that's in the neighborhood of a hold or a block in the back.
They're going to call it a block in the back. So now it'll move them back even more. And now, Josh, the momentum definitely on the side of the Purple Dragons. This defense has got to be fired up as they have caused now 3 turnovers on their side. So they're doing their part. Now they just need to keep it up here. 6:19 on the clock. Mustangs do have 3 timeouts. And we'll see who's going to be the quarterback coming out there, because they have been mixing it up all night long, and it looks like Hargens is still going to be the guy to lead this drive.
Really, you can't fault Hargens. No. I mean, what do you do when the snap comes down at the top of your shoe? Dribbles out behind you in the grass. I mean, or whatever this stuff is, field turf.
Turf, yeah.
Hargens in the gun, 3 wide receivers to the far side. He'll hand off. And that is Pesic Hickson carrying, and he tries to reverse his field. Dylan Jordan gets him, and the Dragons wrap him up. Big hit that time. Pittsburg High shuts that one down.
A little surprising there on that play as Dylan Jordan tried going high.
Yeah,
and
take his head off. And
we have a shoe fell off.
Jake Butcher lost his tire.
Yeah, that play was busted on the left side there, Josh. They had to. It looked like that Pesic Hickson was supposed to go all the way to the outside. He had nowhere to go, so he had to turn back around. And his own quarterback, Hargens, had to make a block.
Well, Hickson made that decision and kind of paid the price for it here on the near side. He got high load after a gain of about 2. Shotgun now.
Throw deep.
And way overthrown for the intended receiver. That was Cameron Bird, I'm sorry. And had no shot at that one.
Yeah, and actually, Hargens was looking deep the whole time, and Burt actually did not. Burt actually stopped on his route. It was a fade route, but he thought that Hargens was getting wrapped up, so he quit, and that's why that ball was actually overthrown.
Hargens did a good job avoiding the rush, stepping up into the pocket.
Yeah.
Because Pittsburg High is bringing the heat from the outside.
That's going to bring up a 3rd and 7. So an interesting situation again. We'll see if Hargens can get a good snap, and if he can, what kind of play they're going to draw up.
Again, 4 wide receiver set. Hargens in the shotgun. Pesic Hickson in the backfield with him. And the Mustangs will take a timeout. Coach Sims wants to talk it over. We'll take a timeout as well. 5:29 to play, first half. Dragons lead at 14-10. We'll step away for 30 seconds, and we'll be back. You're listening to Pittsburg High School football on ESPN 100.7.
When you get to the Silverback Fund, you're helping fund scholarships for our students to excel athletically and academically. Take your Gorilla Pride to the next level. Give to the Silverback Fund. Learn more at pittsburgh.edu/silverback.
Now back to Dragon football.
Welcome back to Hutchison Field, downtown Pittsburgh, Kansas. 5:29 to play, first half. Dragons on top, 14-10 over the defending 6A state champions, the Blue Valley North Mustangs. Their 4-star recruit quarterback, Graham Mertz, who has signed a letter to Wisconsin. He went out in the first half with a leg injury and being replaced by Kendall Hargens. And their offense has sputtered a little bit, but not really Hargens' fault, more the center quarterback exchange. Hargens under pressure, going to be sacked on this play as the defense finally gets there. for the Dragons. And that was Aaron Woods, and combined up with Shea Mankin and Dylan Jordan to come up with that sack there, and it forces Blue Valley North into a punting situation, so the Dragons get to get the ball back after consecutive stops by the defense. Kafka and Dylan White back to receive the punt, standing at the Dragon 43 and 39-yard line, respectively.
And interesting here, Josh, is they have a chance to run out the clock and get the ball at half.
High punt. That is a nice punt. That's a 4-star punt there. Dylan White able to get on top of it, hangs on to it.
Situation there, he almost lost it.
The Dragons keep possession of it. White didn't set up deep enough for that punt. That's not a SEK League punter there. The Dragons fortunate to maintain possession. They'll take over 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. 4.5 to play.
They got 2 timeouts as well. Like I said, Josh, they can run this thing down, score here, and potentially get the ball back after half and add to their lead.
High formation here behind Rourke. 2 wide receivers off to the far side.
Oh,
Evans
got away with
a little bit of motion pre-snap, and they're going to finally throw the flag. Normally you wouldn't let the play start.
Yeah.
Wow. And officially a 57-yard punt, I hear. Man, that's an NFL quality punt there. Punter looks like he should be playing D-tackle, but great punt.
So the flag kicks PHS back now to a 1st and 15. Evans had a little bit of a head start.
Little twitch back there. Now Dragons at their own 21. They'll stick with the I formation. The man in motion. Hand off to Freeman. He has some blockers. Makes a move at the 30, out across the 31-yard line. And it'll be a gain of about 7 on the play as he picks up those penalty yards plus a few.
Yeah, and Josh, it looked like Freeman had a chance to just keep going, but we talked about it in the game before. He's got the Le'Veon Bell type presence where he likes to watch and see what happens, and then he takes off. Against this Blue Valley team, he can't do that. He just needs to keep going because you see how quick they can get to him.
Gain of 9 on the play for Freeman. Brings up a 2nd down and about 6, maybe 7 for the Dragons. Rourke lines up in the shotgun. Evans in the backfield with him. 2 wide receivers, 3 to the far side. And the handoff to Evans across the 35 to about the 35-yard line. As that one closed up quickly.
It's going to be short still, 3rd down. And now this is an interesting situation now for Pittsburg High, is if they don't get this 1st down, now Blue Valley can take a timeout and they'll have a chance to potentially get on the board before the half.
Dragons need this 1st down.
3rd and 3, they're going to spread this field out. Trips right.
Aired it out last drive, and they've stayed on the ground so far in this one.
1-on-1 on the left side with Dylan White. They might drop the safety and help him out.
Oh, and the almost intercepted. Man, that was a for sure pick for number 5. How do they have 2 number 5s?
6.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that's
it's Nick Detmer.
Nick Detmer.
Yep.
Works as a tailback and sometimes defensive back. For those of you watching on the internet, you can feel my pain. These silver numbers on white jerseys are ridiculous.
Okay, so now here we go. 4th down. And Josh, last time it was a beautiful, and I mean a beautiful return by Dylan McCullough. So we'll see if they punt it to him, and it's actually going to be a timeout.
So Pittsburg High going to call this timeout, and Coach, you want to get that punt coverage straight, because the return game has been a big bonus for Blue Valley North tonight, as they have really gashed the Dragons a couple times on their punt and kickoff coverage. So Coach probably kick it out of bounds. 3:09 to play, 1st half. Dragons on top, 14-10, looking at a 4th down and about 4 at their own 35-yard line. And we're going to punt this one away and try and head to the locker room with that 4-point lead, but Mustangs may have a little something to say about that. Back to field at deep is Dylan McCullough. And he's had a couple of real nice returns tonight. He certainly looked better as a returner than a quarterback.
Yeah.
Right. Rugby punts this one away. Again, angling towards the sidelines. It's going to go out of bounds. Oh, nope. It'll roll dead and be downed at the Mustang 37-yard line. Coverage much better that time. Kick a little shorter. And you'll take less kick if it means no return. And they negate that return game that time.
Out to 1st and 10 for Blue Valley North, and they got the 2 timeouts. The clock is on their side. They have a chance to do something here, but the Pittsburgh defensive front has really caused problems for this team. Kendall Hargens is having a tough time making some decisions. Just step up in the pocket, scramble, try to get away from these guys.
And once again, defense called upon to come up with a stop here to preserve this lead as the clock winds down on the first half. Hargens' throw complete along the sidelines, pushed out of bounds at about the 43-yard line, a gain of about 5 yards on the play. Call it 6 yards.
And that was Zane Gibson on the catch. 2:55 on the clock. It'll be a 2nd and 4, like you said.
Now, 4 wide receivers in this set. As Hargens lines up in the shotgun. He'll roll far side. Now he's pressured. He's going to step up, running through a couple arm tackles, and finally cleaned up by Jarek Butcher.
That's going to be
Not
an
before
interesting
picking
spot.
up about 2 or 3 yards. They're going to mark it about the 46-yard line, so it'll bring up a 3rd down and about 2.
And interesting again, they're rolling out to the left with Hargens there. His opposite side to roll out with the favoring a quarterback. And short side of the field as well, so it looks like they're trying to get those out routes and routes to catch it and get out of bounds.
Stick with the 4 wide receiver set and the shotgun formation. They're going to hand it off up the middle, and they'll pick up the 1st down. That's Pesek Hickson.
Still on his feet.
And finally, the whistle blows.
And that's a late flag.
Dylan Jordan, just a little shove in the back, and it draws the ire of the officials. And you're going to have to stop the shenanigans after the whistle blows. Pittsburgh High has been penalized on the defensive side, and it's been unnecessary penalties not related to the play. Jordan kind of letting his emotions get the best of him right there.
Yep, and that's a killer right there. I mean, yes, they got the 1st down, but now they're going to move 15 more. And, you know, you got to give kudos to the referee because they're making sure this isn't getting chippy. And
yeah, well, they're keeping a real tight lid on it.
And now Jordan will actually come out now as he...
Keeping a real tight lid on one side of it anyway.
Yep, and now...
I'll stay in the shotgun with the 4 wide receivers as Jordan heads to the sideline. There's the read, the handoff again. Pesek Hickson makes a nifty move on the inside, and Dragon's fortunate to get a hand on him as he juked Jarek Butcher right across the line of scrimmage that time, and he'll pick up about 8-9 yards on the carry. You're going to call it 9. Bring up a 2nd down and short here, and now Blue Valley threatening all of a sudden thanks to that super timely penalty against Dylan Jordan.
They're going to blow this dead here, and they're going to, I think they're wanting to reset. There they go.
Stay with the 4 wide receivers, and if you're Blue Valley, you might try and run the ball again here. Quarterback keeper that time. Nifty move. Dragon's not very sure with the tackling here tonight. I've seen more missed tackles tonight than I think I've seen in both of the first 2 games, but you can credit the opponent for that. Much better quality of athlete in this game.
They're going to rule this a 1st down. So 52 on the clock.
And chains are reset.
They're going to say 54, I think.
Like the clock reset to 54, and so
we're having a little bit of difficulty over here. And see if 58 is what they're going to rule.
It's a long 58 seconds if you're Pittsburg High. Dragon defense tries to dig in once again. There's a snap back looking to throw. He'll put it up.
Back corner.
Out the back of the end zone. Incomplete. As Hargens saw the double coverage and just tried to throw that one out to Broadway.
Making a 2nd and 10. Pittsburg High, their backs against the wall. And no Dylan Jordan as they took him out after his unsportsmanlike.
I believe that may have been the second unsportsmanlike against Jordan here tonight. Yeah. And Coach Nick seen enough of that. Puts his team in a bad position here. In a tight spot. Hargens has him in the shotgun. Now they're going to call a timeout. Coach Sims wants to talk something over. And that's good for the Dragon defense. Gives them a chance to catch their breath, kind of reorganize. They've had a long first half, spent a lot of time out on the field here tonight. And Coach Nicholson talked about the conditioning that they try and do over the summer to get this team ready. A lot of these players going both ways for Pittsburg High, as is the case with a lot of 4A teams in the state of Kansas. But that really becomes a factor when you're taking on a team at the 6A level who does not really have many guys who go both ways and can run a lot of fresh bodies at you, as we've seen Blue Valley do tonight. And the Dragons just hanging on to this 14-point lead. But, man, you got to be proud of these kids from Pittsburg High. They've really responded to some adversity here tonight and have bounced back. The defense has bowed up on several occasions and stopped some drives. And then the offense has shown some big play ability.
Yep.
Pretty conservative on their last possession, but they were deep in their own territory and didn't want to turn the ball over. So Pittsburg High right now just trying to get a stop here and get out with the with this 4-point lead at the half. Like you mentioned, Avi, they will get the ball to start the third quarter.
5 wide set now, Blue Valley.
Empty backfield. And he'll take off. What?
Big hit.
Jared Butcher with a big hit at about the 10-yard line and a huge missed tackle in the backfield that time. It was Trenton Austin just whiffed, trying to go for the legs.
Third short
of Hargens. It'll bring up a 3rd down and short. And another timeout. And Dylan Jordan back in the game for the Dragons at the linebacker spot.
Yeah, this is a big 3rd down here. Get the first down. The clock will stop until they move the chains, and then they will let them reset, and then they'll go from there. The ball is on the 10, so it would be a 1st and goal situation for Blue Valley if they get it. Now, if you don't get it, it's a 4th down play. You do have a good kicker, or you can potentially risk it and try to go for it on 4th down.
Now, Mustangs just burned their final timeout, so if they don't get it here, if they can't make something happen, you're not going to get a lot of time to run that kicking unit out onto the field.
You have to spike it quick.
If they don't get it here, they won't be able to spike it because it'll be 4th down. So it'll be a tough situation here. Dragons, that defensive front's about to be tested right here. We'll see if they can make a sure tackle. They've had some problems with that here tonight. We've seen a lot of arm tackles. And Dragons need some sure tackling right here.
And the secondary did their job on that play. It's just that Hargens had no one rushing him, so he was able to take off.
There we go. 3 wide this time, bringing tight end into the formation. Hargens back to pass, rolls near side, looks back side. It is picked off! Intercepted! The Dragons have it back the other way. It's Dylan White. One man to beat is Hargens. He's got it beat. He's across the 50, the 40, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. Touchdown, Dragons. That is not what you wanted if you're the Blue Valley North Mustangs.
Wow. There are no flags on the field. A 99-yard, well, 100-yard pick six for Dylan White, and the Dragons push their lead to 20-10 on the defending 6A state champions.
Another turnover costing this Mustang team. Hargens actually had his man. He just threw it a little too far up, and that's what caused the pick six. But heck of a play. Got to credit Dylan White for catching that one, sniffing it out, and then he was gone.
Well, I hope they got some good footage of that for the local news because, oh my goodness, what a turn of events. Knocking on the door, then they throw the pick six. Dragons up 20-10. On to attempt the extra point, and Pittsburg High gets the ball to start the third quarter. The kick is up. It is good, and everyone in purple is very happy right now. We'll keep it right here. Just 5 seconds left to play in the first half, and oh my goodness, what a turn of events. I'm beside myself, Avi.
Yeah, that was a very interesting situation right there. You know, I talked about it.
Get Dylan White a drink of water. Man.
Oh, he doesn't need one. Look at how excited he is celebrating with his teammates. He'll get one at halftime.
Get a lot of water at halftime, young man.
And a big play, and if you're Blue Valley North, you know that's definitely a crusher. You're in your own red zone, and you throw a turnover, and then they take it back to the house. That kills you even more. And so now going into the half, what you thought you might have been potentially down by 4 at worst, you're now down by 11.
Yeah, that blew up in their face big time. And you know the old coaching cliche that when you pass, 3 things can happen and 2 of them are bad.
Yep.
That is the ultimate in bad right there for the Blue Valley Mustangs.
Now, 5 seconds on the clock, so there still is a chance for the Mustangs to get a score here. They have 3 back there, and they have 3 pretty deadly guys back there, and Dylan McCullough, and they have, I believe, Texas Hickson as well. And Pittsburgh's going to take a timeout, and they're going to talk this over.
It's called the squib kick.
Yeah.
So the Dragon defense leading this ball game 14-10, and the offense has chipped in a touchdown as well. And Pittsburg High, man, how about it?
Yeah, the defense is looking very good, Josh. We said it many times. This would be the ultimate test for them so far to begin this season, and so far that defense is passing that test.
And there's some serious nerves when you talk to friends and girlfriends and whatnot of some of these Dragon players. They were nervous about this game. They knew what kind of opponent was coming in here to Hutch Field. They know that they hadn't really played a super tough and athletic team this year. Well, tonight they've done that, and the skill position players for Pittsburg High have really come through in tonight's ball game. 2 interception returns for touchdowns, 2 unforced fumbles that were recovered by the Dragons to kill drives for Blue Valley North, and turnovers have been the name of the game for the Mustangs as they have been bit by that bug several times tonight. The Dragons set to kick this one away, and that is a squibber. And down quickly at the 43-yard line, fielding that one with the sure hands. That was Tate Keene. I think that's how you say it. And they'll take over with 3 seconds on the clock, so you got a chance for a Hail Mary here, but oh my goodness, maybe you don't want to do that. The Dragons have shown the ability to pick it and take it back, so maybe just take a knee and head back to the drawing board.
See how they want to play this out, as you're right, this is potential Hail Mary range. I believe I've seen Hargens kind of throw it a little bit in the air. It's not been to the guys he wanted to throw to, but he can throw this thing, and it's been a pretty good spiral, so we'll see if they want to air this thing out or just play it safe, take a knee, and call it a half. And they will load out. It's going to be a trips left. They're running a...
Hargens with 115 yards passing. It's just 100 of them have been in the wrong direction.
They got 4 guys lined up on the left side. And
little junky bunchy formation over there, and there's a flag.
Game. That will add 5 to that play, and now we'll see if they still want to do something. And, you know, you kind of noticed that, Josh, is, you know, they don't hop out onto the field until about 17 on the play clock, and then they call the play, and then they get in there.
That's gamesmanship. They're trying to keep that defense off guard. Dragons only rushing 3, no linebackers. Everybody back into coverage. Jarek Butcher.
Linebacker at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, 15 yards back from the line of scrimmage.
So they're going to run
a little screen here.
Pass it deep. that's
Butcher with the pick.
That's intercepted.
Now back the other way. Jarek Butcher rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, trying to make a man miss. There's a flag, and Butcher's going to be brought down at the Pittsburgh High 38-yard line. That's going to do it for the first half. Penalty notwithstanding. We'll see.
Yeah, I think this is going to go against
Butcher,
Kafka.
that's not good. He's limping out there. Yeah, hopefully he'll be able to walk that one off over halftime.
I think they're going to call this on Kafka. It might be a block in the back.
On the return, but the clock would have expired already.
Mm-hmm.
Jarek Butcher coming up a little limpy there.
I actually didn't see this flag on the other side over here on about the 36-yard line, so that could potentially be a different flag.
It could have been before the pass, and if you're Pittsburgh High, you didn't decline that sucker and get into the locker room. Get some ice on Jarek's ankle, and
tell you what, that was actually a pretty good design play call. As if it would have worked, it could have been something scary because they actually had a receiver on the right side who was
coulda, shoulda, woulda. You got a guy who's not a quarterback throwing the ball, and that's what you get. It's a floater about 10 yards too short.
Yeah, got the gloves on and had to throw that thing as best as he could, and we'll see what they call this. This is interesting as they're going over to the Blue Valley side, so I'm not sure what they're going to rule here. Now, if it's against Pittsburgh High...
Yeah, the half can't end on a defensive penalty.
It can't end on a defensive penalty.
We'll see. These officials have not been shy about calling penalties against the Dragons. I've only seen one so far against Blue Valley North.
Butcher on the other side there talking
He's
with
smiling, so that's a good sign.
He looks like he's...
Got dinged a little bit. He's no halfback, that's for sure.
Yeah. Again, this is a very, very big call here before the half to see what they want to rule this. And if they're talking to the Blue Valley coaching staff, you know that it's probably in favor of a Pittsburgh flag, and so we might see what they try. And now the whole Blue Valley team squads up.
What is going on here?
Okay, so
there we go. 12 men in the huddle.
Okay, so the penalties decline.
And that'll end the first half.
That'll end the half.
A lot of discussion to come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
So that'll do it for the first half, and that is one that the Pittsburgh Dragons will probably want to etch in stone because what a defensive effort here tonight by the Dragons. 2 pick sixes, 2 fumble recoveries, and they lead at 21-10 over the defending Class 6A state champion, the Blue Valley North Mustangs. Both teams head to the locker room. We'll step away for 2 minutes, and we'll be back. You're listening to Pittsburgh High School Dragon Football on ESPN 100.7 and streaming live around the world on ESPN1007.com.
No one wants to file for bankruptcy, but a wage garnishment can make it hard to pay the rent, pay the pharmacy, or even feed the family. Bankruptcy can be a viable option to help families cope with unfortunate and unforeseen financial hardship. Call Steve Stockard at Wilbert & Towner, 620-231-5620 for a consultation to find out if bankruptcy is the right choice for you and your family. Call today. Wilbert & Towner, a full-service law firm, 620-231-5620. We are a debt relief agency, helping people find the relief they need in bankruptcy.
Hi, this is Dr. Brent Cousins with SEK Urgent Care. When you're sick, when you're injured, or when you just don't feel like yourself, SEK Urgent Care is here for you. Let our skilled providers treat your non-life-threatening illness or injury at a fraction of the time and cost of an ER visit. Located at the corner of Centennial and Broadway in the Meadowbrook Commons, open 7 days a week for your convenience. SEK Urgent Care, where your family and time matter. Find us fast and names and numbers.
Customer first, safety always. It's not just a tagline, it's the Watco way. By focusing on safety, each and every day they build a future by protecting their customers, team members, community, and the environment. When Watco moves commodities by rail, river, and road, at home or across North America and Australia, their priority is to ensure that they deliver their loads safely and on time. Watco wishes all area teams a safe and successful season.
After the final whistle, find the scores and results from all 37 schools in Southeast Kansas on SEK-Sports.com. SEK-Sports.com features football and basketball team pages with current records, results, and articles, plus
Welcome back to Hutchison Field, Pittsburg, Kansas. We're at halftime of tonight's Kansas High School football matchup between the Pittsburg High School Purple Dragons and the Blue Valley North Mustangs. At the half, the Dragons lead it 21-10, and that's been fueled by 4 turnovers, 2 of them recovered fumbles, 2 of them pick sixes for the Dragons. The game started on the first possession with what was essentially like an 80-yard pick six by Joel Kafka, and then the half, basically for all intents and purposes, finished on a 100-yard pick six by Dylan White, and the Dragons the offense chipped in a touchdown of their own on a 40-yard pass play from Rourke to Dylan White, and the Dragons lead it 21-10 at the half. Now, Avi, this is normally where I would start talking about halftime stats. The stats I just gave you, I was doing really well to keep those. Let's just say I got caught up in the drama of the moment, and my stats are far from official, so we'll just skip that. But the Dragon defense has gotten the job done when they've needed to here tonight, had their backs up against the wall, leading by just 4. It looked as if Blue Valley was poised to either take the lead or cut the lead to 1, Avi, and that's when Dylan White came up with that big pick and then immediately started looking end zone 100 yards away, able to outrun the entire Mustang offense down the field, and the last man who had a chance at him was the guy who threw the pick, Kendall Hargens, and couldn't make the tackle. Dylan White takes it to the house, Dragons leading it 21-10, and for Pittsburg High, we said this was going to be a measuring stick game. That defense has measured up.
Yeah, and that's the calling card for not only Pittsburgh's side, but you can also credit Blue Valley North's defense because they've only given up 7 points as well. And so, their backs are against the wall kind of in situations like this. But, you got to credit the Pittsburgh team. Like you said, Josh, they have done very good. And, we want to wish the best for Graham Mertz as we hope we can find out to see what happened to him or if he can step back out on the field. All we know is that he left early in the first quarter with a leg injury, and he could not put any weight on that left leg. So if we can find out any updates or anything, we'll find out as soon as possible and let everyone know. But, and I tell you what, Kendall Hargens is having a tough time out there. He's trying to make some plays, and it's not going in his favor. This Pittsburgh defense has been a wreck for him. But then on the other side, again, Josh, the defense for the Mustangs have caused a lot of problems for Pittsburgh because they're not trying to get anything, and they can't get the offense going, and so they have to punt, which gives Blue Valley good field position. Yeah, and the Dragon offense has struggled because the speed and pursuit of that front seven for the Blue Valley Mustang defense. But the Dragons able to punch one in on a long pass play, but the running game just hasn't been there tonight because of the athleticism of their opponent. And that's something that Coach Nicholson talking to his squad about as far as winning that battle at the line of scrimmage to get that running game going, because here in the second half, leading 21-10, that running game is critically important for the Dragons. You don't want to air the ball out a whole lot when you're up 21-10. You want to grind that clock and grind out yards between the tackles, but so far that's been a tough sledding for the Dragons, trying to get yards on the ground. Haven't been able to get around the edge, and not much going up the middle either. So that's something that they're talking about. And on the defensive side of the ball, Avi, really the only thing that the Dragons need to address is, one, would be tackling. They've missed lots of tackles tonight, but again, you credit the opponent for that. The skill and the athleticism of Blue Valley North, they're going to make you miss from time to time. And secondly, the unnecessary penalties after the play. A lot of personal fouls against the Dragons as emotions ran high out there on the field. But you got to think that as they start to play with a little bit more of a lead here in the second half, those emotions will kind of get a little bit more under control, because the Dragons now in familiar territory playing with a lead. Yeah, I got to agree with you, Josh. That's definitely two things that are going to be talked about in both sides of the half for Blue Valley North. Turnovers. You can't afford to have those anymore. You're down by 11. Pittsburgh's going to start with the ball in this second half, and so you're going to want to keep these guys in check and make sure that they're disciplined. On the other side, Pittsburgh High, they're doing everything right but the penalties. I mean, they're killing it. They're shooting themselves in the foot multiple times, and their defense has been able to bail them out on those plays as well. So a little bit of still great first half for both teams, but you got to clean it up and you got to play a little bit better. And then for that Mustang team, the quarterback to center snapping has got to get figured out, because that has hurt them multiple times on 2 third downs especially. They had a chance where they could get the first down, and it's not working. And then for Blue Valley, when they run the ball, they're gaining yards almost every play. They're spreading the field, and they're making these guys try to arm tackle the Amari Pesky-Hickson, and they cannot do it. They have to have multiple guys bring him down. So if you're Blue Valley North, you're down by 11. There's still plenty of time in this game left. You can run that ball again, spread it open a little bit, then you can run a play action.
Yes, the center, Austin Carnes, he's a that can't be right. That's not right. Okay. He's a junior, but, you can credit that pass rush for Pittsburg High for kind of disrupting that center quarterback exchange, because he's thinking about blocking and not taking care of business right off the bat, and that is snapping the football to the quarterback. And they seem to have gotten it cleaned up on their last couple of drives. But we'll see if that continues to be a factor in the second half. Right now, for those of you watching online, the Pittsburg High School Marching Dragons entertaining the crowd. Dance team's already been out here on what has turned into a beautiful but warm night here in downtown Pittsburg, Kansas at historic Hutchison Field. We'll step away for 2 minutes and we'll be back, talk over some of the second half action. You're listening to Pittsburg High School Purple Dragon Football on ESPN 100.7 and streaming live on ESPN1007.com. Welcome back to halftime here at Hutchfield. We're all being entertained by the football target throw. Yeah, a couple of close calls that time. And Avi, we were reminiscing in the break when we did the Girard basketball game against Pittsburg High last year. A student hit a half-court shot, and it was pretty amazing. The place erupted, and kind of hoping for that here, but hasn't happened yet. Do we have another shot here?
Yeah, and actually,
one more competitor.
In the basketball game last year, Labette County came to town, and Tristan Gegg, the all-star guard for them, she hit the half-court shot, and it was actually cool. I believe she won $150, but she actually gave it back.
That's not fair.
She gave it back, and she actually donated it to, I believe, a charity or something.
Yeah, anybody who's ever watched Tristan Gegg play knows that is not fair.
Half court is her range.
Yeah, that's totally within her range. If she's in the building, she's in range. Yeah. Hey, we want to take a moment to make a short programming note. This week, our colleague in broadcasting, Mike Snow, his older brother, Brad Snow, have broadcasted with them both for years and years. Mike gave me my start in broadcasting what seemed like 100 years ago. Those guys lost their mother, Virginia, this week. She passed away, and we want to express our sympathies to the entire Snow family, and our thoughts and prayers go out to those guys in this rough time. This is a very long halftime. We're looking at 8 minutes left in halftime. Normally, they're not 20 minutes long. I'm not sure whose choice this was. I'm going to guess the visiting team because they're known to have some gamesmanship. They need to practice their passing, so they're going to take some time on it out here during the half. But got about 7.5 minutes until the second half starts. And actually, this kind of helps the Dragons out because they had a lot of guys going both ways, got a chance to catch their breath. Hopefully they don't get cold and stiff here in this halftime break, but still quite a bit of time until the third quarter starts. But at the break, the Dragons on top, 21-10. They've scored 2 pick sixes, recovered 2 unforced fumbles, and the offense punched in a touchdown on a 40-yard pass from Kafka to White to give the Dragons the 21-10 margin. We'll step away for, let's call it 3 minutes, and we'll be back. You're listening to Pittsburg High School Dragon Football on ESPN 100.7 and streaming live on ESPN1007.com.
Our chance to let the customer know that we'll be out there, not just sold in a policy, we'll also be there when the claim occurs to make sure it gets handled in an honest, respectable way.
Ryan Insurance of Pittsburg, a trusted choice agency. Find them fast in names and numbers.
Are you tired of all those confusing checking account options? The Kansas Teachers Community Credit Union makes your choice simple. We only have one option. Our checking account has no monthly fees. And if you maintain a $2,000 minimum balance, we pay you interest. Get the Credit Union Advantage at 416 North Broadway or call 620-231-5719 for more information. Deposits are federally insured by NCUA up to $250,000.
What's the buzz around Community National Bank and Trust? They're talking mobile banking, instant issue debit cards, rewards checking and credit cards, and let's not forget e-power checking, paying better than CD-like rates on a checking account, plus nationwide ATM fee refunds. Get in on the buzz. Community National Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
If you're in the mood for shopping, visit Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall. Pittsburgh's original one-stop shopping center has a lot to offer. A great variety of clothing and shoes for the whole family, a large selection of gifts, sporting goods, events, and entertainment, plus terrific places to eat, and you can enjoy the newest movies in 8 theaters. Shop the comfortable and convenient atmosphere at Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall. There's always something happening at Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall.
From scoring a winning touchdown to welcoming graduation, life is full of wonderful memories. But the best times can come with financial challenges, like paying for college or a room renovation. This is Brian Sutton, Market President of Commerce Bank in Pittsburgh. At Commerce, we make the harder stuff easy. Whatever your challenge is, we want to listen and help find solutions so you can focus on the good stuff, like cheering on your favorite team. Check us out at commercebank.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter for tips on making the most of life. Commerce Bank, challenge accepted.
Hi, this is Dr. Brent Cousins with SCK Urgent Care. When you're sick, when you're injured, or when you just don't feel like yourself, SCK Urgent Care is here for you. Let our skilled providers treat your non-life-threatening illness or injury at a fraction of the time and cost of many of our visits. Located at the corner of Centennial and Broadway in the Meadowbrook Commons, open 7 days a week for your convenience. SCK Urgent Care, where your family and time matter. Find us fast and names and numbers.
Now back to Dragon Football.
Welcome back to Hutchison Field, downtown Pittsburg, Kansas. We're at halftime of tonight's Kansas High School football matchup between the Pittsburgh Purple Dragons and the Blue Valley North Mustangs. And there you can see on your monitor, you used to be able to, working out without the jersey on there, just off the top of your screen as we pan back. That is
Graham
Mertz, and he's out there without a jersey on, got a crutch in one hand. He's not moving well. He was throwing well, of course, because his arm isn't hurt, but wearing that brace on that left leg, and looks like his night is over.
But regardless, it's definitely good to see him.
Yeah, good to see him moving around out there.
Moving around, yeah.
Looks like he might be able to bounce back and come back this season, but probably not tonight. And in at the quarterback spot for the Mustangs has been Kendall Hargens, and he's looked okay. He's looked pretty good running the football, but throwing the ball, he gave up a 100-yard pick six to Dylan White, and he's missed a couple of wide open receivers. He's thrown a couple passes out the back of the end zone, so you might expect to see some more Wildcat type formations. You might expect to see maybe another quarterback in the game, and you also expect to see a lot of running the football out of the Mustangs with Amari Pesic-Hickson, who is one of the highest recruited basketball players in the state of Kansas, and he's going to get a lot of touches here in the second half, I would believe, for Blue Valley North. But they're going to have to air the football out. They're going to have to get some yards in chunks if they want to get back into this ball game, because they trail it by 11 here at the half, 21-10. The Pittsburgh Dragons defense, though, has certainly done its job in the first half, so it's going to be an uphill battle for Blue Valley North if they want to get back into this ball game. That Dragon defense has shown up when they've had to tonight.
Yeah, and Josh, it literally could be the tale of two different stories for both teams, to be honest with you. As PHS now has the lead, they're going to have to rely on the ground and pound game, as they're going to have to run this clock down, and they haven't had success doing that. And then for the other side, Blue Valley Northwest, they got their backup quarterback in, kind of struggle a little bit. They did have some success with the run game. You kind of want to get that back up and going. And if you actually look out on the field, that's Sam Roark, who did get injured on a punt play earlier. He's got his leg iced up, and he's on a crutch as well, so it looks like Roark's night might be done. But again, definitely good to see both players who have gotten hurt in this game today. We're able to see them back out on the field trying to support their team.
Yeah, he's not in pads, so he's definitely done for the night, and usually they don't strap that ice on your leg if you're going to go back into the game. So Roark, the junior defensive back, is
cheerleader for the rest of the night.
Done for the night, but still here to offer moral support to his team. And we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Peyton Steele, the starting tight end and defensive end for the Dragons, is out in the concussion protocol, and he won't make it back until the Dragons make that long road trip out to Ulysses, Kansas, out in southwestern Kansas. That's going to be the longest distance traveled by any high school team for a regular season game this year in the state of Kansas, and not hard to imagine because you're going from 7 miles from the Missouri border to about 20 miles from the Colorado border. So a long road trip coming up for the Dragons to make that trip out to Ulysses. But tonight, you got to stay focused here on the task at hand. They got another half to play against a very quality Blue Valley North team, and even though Graham Mertz is out of the ball game, that doesn't mean that they don't have a lot of athletes over there who can hurt you on the Blue Valley sideline. So the Dragons can't afford to take their foot off the gas here in the second half as we get set for action. They just put another 3 minutes on the clock to stretch out. And so this is going to end up being about a 45-minute halftime by the time it's all over with here, counting the last penalty when it took them 15 minutes to sort out that they had 12 men in the huddle, then the 20-minute halftime, and now 3 or 4 more minutes to stretch out. This is quite a prolonged period. We could have gone and grabbed a sandwich or something and come back.
If I would have known that, we definitely would have done that.
I could have played a bunch of sponsors, ordered a pizza. Where's our Chatter's Wings tonight? That's what I want to know.
But on the bright side, Josh, as we kind of mentioned, this is a win for that defense for Pittsburgh High. They get to relax even more, kind of catch their breaths a little bit, and then it also can help out for Blue Valley. They can try to scheme up some things, try to get some things different on their side to get some motivation as they. No one wants to travel over 2.5 hours and come home with a loss. That's definitely on the bus ride home, it's definitely something.
And that's something I want to bring up. Somebody up in the Kansas City area mentioned that they had to travel 2.5 hours from Blue Valley to Pittsburg High. I don't know what route they're taking or if they're driving on county roads or 55 miles. It does not take 2.5 hours to get from Stillwell, Kansas to Pittsburg, Kansas. I mean, I drive fast, but that's just ridiculous. Maybe they got a governor on those big tour buses that they came in on. I thought the Chiefs were in town, but no, it's not 2.5 hours, but a good road trip outside the metro area, which Blue Valley North doesn't really have to do that often during the regular season, and probably wishing they'd scheduled somebody a little closer to home tonight because the Dragons have given them all they want. As Purple Dragons lead at 21-10 here with about a minute left before we start the third quarter of action, and like we mentioned, Dragons will have the ball to start the third quarter, so it'll be interesting to see what they can do on offense. If they can get that running game going, that's going to be bad news for the Mustangs. Dragons sitting on a 11-point lead. Now, you don't want to get too conservative, Avi, but you do want to run that clock and keep the ball out of the hands of that Blue Valley offense, because even with Mertz on the sideline, they've shown the capacity to move the ball pretty well with that offense. They just haven't put points on the board. And the Dragons, of course, they want to force them into passing situations because that's been points for Pittsburg High tonight with 2 pick sixes in the ball game. Blue Valley North had the ball to start the ball game, and there was a pick six on the opening drive as Joel Kafka caught it, took it about 80 yards back to the house, give the Dragons that early 7-0 lead. And then the half kind of ended on the same note with Dylan White picking one off in the end zone and taking it all the way the length of the field for the score. And you might remember me screaming into the microphone about that one. I won't want to listen to that replay. I'm like, I went up about 6 octaves on that one. But Dragons lead at 21-10 here at the break as the teams take the field. Dragons set to field this kickoff. Dylan Jordan back there with Brett Freeman. And Jordan put the ball on the ground when he fielded a kick earlier. Needs to tuck that ball a little bit closer to his body. I'm sure that's something that Coach Nick had a conversation with him about at the break. Young man, if you're going to carry the ball, you better carry it close.
And Josh, just be careful. You never know. You could potentially see an onside kick here. So if you're those front guys, you be ready to land on the ball because it looks like there's definitely a lot of athletic guys that can get on that ball pretty quickly.
And here's the kick.
And it's going to go deep. So
Jordan will take it at the 5-yard line. He's carrying it much closer to his body this time. Cuts it to the outside. Now looks back inside. He'll take it to the sideline and run out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. Pretty good field position to start this drive for the Dragons. 1st and 10 at their own 30.
He kind of gave that. He looked back to the inside, and it was the crap. There's nobody there, so he just came back to the outside and went out of bounds. And so now it'll be a 1st and 10 for Pittsburg High. We'll probably see this ground and pound offense. Evans, Freeman, Roark, the 1-2-3 combo you've seen a couple times, the power option, the speed options.
But we have seen in the first half that if they're slow developing plays behind the line of scrimmage, Blue Valley has blown those up. So the Dragons need to get to the point of attack quickly and be decisive. And here they come in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers off to the far side. Lone back in the backfield is Brett Freeman. They're going to run option. The pitch out to Freeman. Rounds the corner across the 30 to about the 32-yard line before he's run out of bounds. Gain of about 2 or 3 on 1st down.
Short side of the field running that option. Not really the best in favor of Pittsburgh.
And goes out of bounds, stops the clock.
Yeah. But again, plenty of time on the clock here. We'll see how they do. And look at that. Now they'll go back to their traditional high formation.
Now you see Dylan Jordan back there at the tailback spot behind Brandis Evans.
It's a double tight as well.
Yep. Bringing in the hog mollies this time for the Dragons. There's the snap, handoff to Evans, right through the hole across the 40, out to the 42-yard line, and that's a 1st down. And the clock runs.
And I tell you, there's always a good and a bad to that. That powerhouse double tight I formation, Josh, is yes, you get more bulker guys up there, but on the bad side, you also got 8 guys in the box that are crowding you up as well. And so that it's a
worked out in the Dragons' favor that time as they pick up the 1st down. 11:33 and counting as we start to watch the clock here at the very beginning of the 3rd quarter. Double tight set again, I formation. Quick toss, Dylan Jordan cuts it up inside, makes a man miss, across the 45, hurdles a man across the 50 to the 49. Dylan Jordan showing off the athleticism. The defender goes low. Jordan hurdled him across midfield, and it'll be a gain of about 8 on the play. It'll be second down and about, we'll see where they put the sticks.
It looks like about
Why is there a
7.
There's always a conversation with this crew.
I tell you what, that was a great read by Jordan, and I don't know if so the ball's not in the middle yet, so they can't start the play clock or anything.
Let's see what's up here.
But again, great read by
place it down at the Blue Valley 49. I'm sorry.
No, by Jordan, because he cut that back up inside, and that was able to help him get those yards.
Gain of about 9 on the play for Jordan. Shotgun formation now. 2 wide receivers off to the far side. Fake the handoff. Work back to pass over the middle. Wow! Great catch that time by Brett Weimers. I'm sorry, Joel Kafka on the catch.
Yeah.
Hauls it in, and a defender for Blue Valley a little bit shaken up on the play. That's Dylan McCullough. He comes up a little bit gimpy, but he's going to stay in the ball game as he tries to walk it off. First down and 10 for the Dragons at the Blue Valley 28-yard line. You get the feeling these Dragons kind of taste some blood in the water.
Fantastic concentration by Kafka as he knew he was going to get hit. He almost lost it and almost an incomplete pass.
High formation again, double tight for the Dragons. Freeman back in at the tailback spot. Handoff goes to Evans. He's met right at the line, stood up, and he'll be dropped for no gain on the play. But that 12th man right now for the Dragons is the clock, and it is running. We're down around 10:35 to play, third quarter, as Evans picks up 1 yard on the run. And you'd like to see the Dragons use every bit of this play clock, as they just now started it. It means the Dragons can run it down to 10 minutes here on this play. Trips to the far side. They'll line up in the shotgun. Dylan White, lone wide receiver to the near side. Looks like they're going to try and jam him at the line. Evans, the lone back in the backfield with Rourke. Rourke is pressured. He's going to throw this one.
And there's
a flag downfield.
That's big.
Could be defensive holding. And you got Dylan McCullough still kind of limping around out there in the backfield. And you know when defensive backs get dinged up, they start holding and grabbing, and could have been what happened on that play. As it is holding against Blue Valley North, and that's going to be an automatic first down for the Dragons. We'll see where they're going to spot this ball. It's a 15-yard penalty.
If it's a hold, it should be just 5.
Yep, 5 in the automatic first.
5 in the automatic, yep. But yeah, that's a big call because, got to give kudos as well to Roark as he was able to get out of the pressure, roll out to his left, and throw that thing away.
Still got it near enough to a receiver that the defensive backs felt like they needed to hold.
Yeah.
And so Blue Valley North brings the pressure, doesn't pay off. Double tight set, I formation. Freeman in at the tailback spot. Evans fullback. Work with the quick toss to Freeman. Cuts it up inside, lowers his head, and he'll push ahead for a gain of 2, maybe 3 on the play. Freeman's not going to get a lot of yards after contact against this defense. He'll pick up about 3.
But a 2nd and 7 here. Pittsburgh on their first drive out of the half, definitely looking good. They're in the red zone. First time since their last touchdown.
Shotgun once again. Dylan Jordan, the wide receiver on the near side. They'll put him in motion. Fake the jet sweep, and he moved a little bit early, I think, and that's going to draw the flag. And then, you get guys who are traditionally defensive players, and you line them up offensively and make them wait for that ball to be snapped, and sometimes they want to get a little jump, as defensive players are keen to do. And draw the flag that time. It'll back the Dragons up. It'll be second down and
12.
We'll call it about 12-13 from the Blue Valley 21-yard line.
And last half, both times they ran that jet sweep or the fake jet sweep, it worked out in their favor, so they were actually going to go back to it there. Yep. So a little bit of a delay, and now here's motion here for Kafka.
The snap now. Rourke rolls out. Screen back the other way. Brandis Evans has it. Lots of room to run. Out across the 20. Inside the 15 to about the 11-yard line. And it won't be enough for a first down. We'll see if they're going to mark it. I think they'll mark him at about the 13.
And Nick Hafford was the guy for the Mustangs to push him out of bounds. And I tell you what, I got to give credit to Hafford there because he actually wanted to bring Evans down, but it would have been a late hit. So definitely a good job by him to have some discipline.
Yep, laid off of it.
And laid off. to now put a 3rd and 6. So here's an interesting situation here. The first big third down with the Mustangs' backs against their own walls. Trips right.
Shotgun formation for Rourke. One tight end in this set. Hands it off to Evans up the middle. Has some room across the 10, inside the 10-yard line. He'll be close to a first down. We'll see where they're going to mark it. That's a pretty conservative spot. They might have to come out and measure this one.
Yeah, they're going to call it short. No, they're going to rule this short automatically.
Oh, man, if you're Pittsburgh High, you go for this. And they are.
4th and 1.
Dylan Jordan into the ball game, along with L.J. Butcher.
So we'll see here. Again, earlier that second down, they wanted to run the wide receiver jet sweep, and now they're just going to have Jordan in the backfield. I expect Evans here, the big fullback, to get the ball. There it is.
And it is. Evans straight ahead, and he'll have enough for the first down. A big 4th down conversion there by the Purple Dragons. Moves the sticks, and they'll have it 1st and goal at the Blue Valley 6-yard line. 8:05 left to play here, 3rd quarter. Dragons on top, 21-10.
Clock continues to grind down here.
Under 8 minutes now to play. These Dragons take their time here as Rourke runs in from the sideline with the play into the huddle. Not much time left on the play clock. They better get to work here.
Got to hurry. Don't want to print that now.
5 on the play clock. He'll put a man in motion. 2, here's the snap. Hand off to Brandis Evans, straight up the gut. Tries to get a push from his teammates.
Clogged up.
And it got shut down quickly. Evans brought down at about the 5-yard line. They'll give him a 1-yard gain on the play, but now the clock should continue to run unless somebody takes a timeout.
Yeah. Actually, there's a flag down. There is a flag. The illegal shift there by the Purple Dragons.
The Dragons kind of shoot themselves in the foot there. They had it 1st and goal at the 6. Now it's going to back them up. They'll get to replay first down, but it'll be a 10-yard penalty, or no, a 5-yard penalty. So that's a unfortunate turn of events, but it does, in the passing game, give you a little more room to operate if you're the Dragons here.
Only downside is they got deep threat receivers normally. They're always down there for the fade, so they'll have to mix that up as it's a trips right.
Jorge Estrada getting attention here on the sidelines. He's cramping up. Having a little hamstring cramp. Those hurt, I'll tell you that. Rourke back to pass.
Going with the fade route.
And it's caught! Joel Kafka catches it in the back of the end zone, and the Dragons extend their lead, 27-10. 7:25 left to play, 3rd quarter. Pittsburgh High starting to put it on the defending 6A state champions.
Beautiful pass by Roark. Back shoulder throw, fade route.
Only guy who had a shot at it.
Only guy had the shot
Kafka.
at that was Kafka. Beautiful throw by Roark.
Oh my goodness. Dragons line up for the extra point. Bressler in to try the extra point attempt. Hold is down. The kick is low and no good, but the damage is done. The Dragons take the opening possession of the 3rd quarter, and they drive it 70 yards to take a 27-10 lead on the 10-yard touchdown pass from Rourke to Kafka. We'll step away for 30 seconds. We'll be back. You're listening to Pittsburgh High School Purple Dragon Football on ESPN 100.7 and streaming live at ESPN1007.com. Welcome back to historic Hutchison Field, downtown Pittsburgh, Kansas. The Purple Dragons take the opening drive of the 3rd quarter, 70 yards, and cap it off with a 10-yard touchdown pass from Sam Rourke to Joel Kafka to give the Dragons a 27-10 lead over the Blue Valley North Mustangs. The Mustangs trying to keep from going 0-3 on the season a year after winning the 6A state championship. And you heard Coach Sims say they lost 30 seniors, lost some leadership off of that squad, and they're really getting all they can handle here tonight from the Purple Dragons. Good looking return this time as it's wrapped up and finally brought down at the 30-yard line is Nick Detmer.
And now, Josh, this is the first time the offense and defense for both sides now, it's been almost half an hour since neither of these sides have been out on the field. So we'll see if they're obviously rested up enough, so we'll see if they can shake some rust off here and get going.
We saw Jarek Butcher, the inside linebacker of the Dragons, came up with an interception return towards the end of the first half and came up lame after the return. He looks to be moving well out there as he's kind of trying to shake that ankle loose. Shotgun formation, trips to the far side for the Mustangs, and we got a new quarterback in the game.
Henry Martin is in.
Martin, a freshman. This is a
big moment for him.
Tough situation for Martin, and we got a flag on the play.
Play a game. Not how you want to start for him.
That's a freshman mistake. That'll back him up 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 15 now at the Mustang 25-yard line. 7:17 to play, third quarter. Dragons on top, 27-10. Martin in the shotgun, 3 wide receivers to the far side. Now he'll look to the sideline for the play call. Dragons show a little pressure, now back off. Here's the low snap right at his guts. Quick little hitter out to the outside of the wide receiver. And brought down after a gain of about 7 yards.
I tell you, Josh, that's probably the best play call right there for your freshman quarterback stepping in late in the game. Kind of got some pressure going on to you, so just throw a little dink and dunk pass. Make sure you get a completed one. That way you just get the nerves a little bit out of your system, and now you can have more confidence throwing the ball.
Brings up a 2nd down and about 11 from the 32-yard line. Graham takes the snap, looks over the middle, pass is tipped, the catch is made at about the 37-yard line. Short of the first down, forced out of bounds was Cameron Burt.
And again, another short little dink and dunk, kind of give him some confidence.
And it brings up a 3rd down and 5, and that little short dink and dunk may not be there this time.
But still helps him out, definitely more doable third down situation.
And they're working the sideline, trying to conserve that clock. 4 wide receivers split this time. And they'll hand off up the middle, and that, he gets away, but not enough yards for the first down. That's a real generous spot there to bring it up to about the 39-yard line, but they'll be a yard short of the first down. You got to think Blue Valley North is going to go for it here in this situation, and they're not running any personnel onto the field.
And expect the workhorse in Amari Peckus-Hickson to get the ball here on a 4th and 1.
Now a new quarterback. Nope. Yep, Hickson in the backfield. These Dragons run out, try and get some coverage. There's a false start.
That is a killer.
That's a killer for Blue Valley North. An unforced mistake up on that offensive line as they're trying to get a jump on the defenders for Pittsburg High and pick up that short yardage.
And just like that.
Now here comes the punting unit. And if you're a returner for Pittsburg High, you may want to back up a little 10 or 15 yards deeper than you did last time. As Kafka and White back to receive this punt. Back up, boys. Keep backing up. Back.
Yeah, you see a coach down there.
Back.
This could be a common corner situation.
Yeah, I'd be at about the 10-yard line.
He's got all day, and look at just a
boomer. That is a boomer.
Goodness.
Nice catch, fair caught that time by Kafka, and the Dragons will take over on their own 15-yard line. 6:05 to play, third quarter. Pittsburg High leads it 27-10. Offense heads back out on the field. Defense comes up with a clutch stop that time after the unforced error on the false start up front by the Mustangs.
And again, here we go. So now this offense, they've got an offensive touchdown in this quarter already. Now with the momentum on their side, backs a little bit against the wall here, but now they'll have to make a longer drive, which also means, Josh, that they can run this clock even more.
The Dragons went 70 yards for the score in their first drive of the second half. Capping it off with a 10-yard touchdown pass from Rourke to Kafka. Now the Dragons have it. 1st First and 10 at their own 15 to start their second drive of the third quarter. They'll come out in the shotgun, 2 wide receivers to the far side. Dylan Jordan, the lone wide receiver to the near side. They'll put him in motion. Not going to fake the jet sweep this time. There it goes to Brandis Evans up the middle for a gain of about 4 yards as he's hit quickly, but guess what? Clock's running.
Yeah, and you saw how quickly, 4 or 5 Mustangs were there to blow up that play.
Well, the Mustangs, they're looking to run first. They know the situation here. Oh, they're going to say no gain on the play?
Maybe lost a yard.
Maybe a lost a yard? It looked like he picked up yards, but the spots have not been in the Dragons' favor here tonight.
Double tight.
Not getting the home cooking. Double tight, I formation, 2 wide receivers to the far side. Nobody here on the near side. And the handoff to Freeman up the middle, makes a man miss. Now skirts inside. And out across the 20 to about the 21-yard line is Brett Freeman.
Again, 6 Mustangs on the play to have to tackle Freeman. Good job by Freeman to bounce it to the outside and get some more extra yards.
Shifty little back, kind of, for those of you who are fans of Pittsburg High School or maybe watched Colgan High back in the day, kind of reminds you of, well, now I'm drawing a blank on the name, so never mind. Doesn't remind me of anybody. Nobody at all.
Tripp's right. 3rd down situation here for Pittsburg High.
3 wide to the far side. Dylan White, the lone receiver to the near side. Brandis Evans gets a handoff up the middle. There's a flag. It's in the neighborhood of a hold, so it'll probably be coming back. It would have been enough for a first down for the Dragons, but it looks like it'll be coming back.
And I tell you, that was a good hole, is what it looked like for Evans to go through, and I think that's why he was able to get through there. Yeah. And so that'll push him back to what will now be a 3rd and 9.
Well, if you're the Dragons here, 3rd down and 9, you just want to not do anything negative. Defense has been playing well. You've got a pretty comfortable lead here. 4.5 minutes left to play, third quarter. Shotgun formation for Rourke. 2 wide receivers to the far side. White the lone to the near side. Evans in the backfield. Rourke will roll out far side. Being pursued from behind. Shakes a man. Shakes another man. Out across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. Won't be enough for the first down.
Got to credit the effort, though.
But a positive pickup for Rourke from on the scramble. And it'll give the Dragons a little more breathing room here for the punting unit.
Got a 4th and 3, and now this is the big thing again, Josh. It's been good punting for Blue Valley North. A little bit of scary punting here for Pittsburg High.
Oh, the punts haven't been bad. The coverage has been bad. So for Pittsburg High, they need to just probably angle this one out of bounds and accept it wherever it happens.
There is a new guy in the backfield there for Blue Valley North. Not normally Dylan McCullough, who normally takes those. Really can't see the number just yet.
Dylan White, good end-over-end punt. Going to be fielded at the 40-yard line. Picks up a block, gets another block, runs through an arm tackle, and another arm tackle. Out across the 40 to about the Pittsburg High 38-yard line. So again, another return, a quality return for the Mustangs, and they'll have great field position to start this drive. And again, Pittsburg High probably been better served to punt that one out of bounds.
And you won't believe who was the guy that returned that one. That was the backup quarterback in Kendall Hargans.
Hey, he's been shifty. He looked better running than passing, so hey, might as well put him back there and let him have a go at it.
Hargans, the guy returning it, and now helping out his team. And so we'll see if the freshman comes back out.
He does.
For Blue Valley North. And so got a little bit of confidence in him here. We'll see if he can do it. And now it really got a big test here. 5 wide, so no one is going to be back there to help him out.
Henry Martin, there's the snap. It's low. Gets it away quickly. Off to the far side and driven out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. So a good gain there on the pass.
And it looks like they're doing a good cause here for the freshman.
Sean Hendershot with the reception.
And just maybe they're going to continue these little dink and dunks until PHS decides to blitz up on them, and then they might go deep.
Yeah, if the Dragons go to some press coverage, then you'll see the ball go downfield. But until then, they'll just take what the defense is giving them, and what they're giving them is that little short pass.
And he's gonna
there it is again.
Yeah.
Little out pattern.
First down. Move the chains.
If you're the Dragons, you do yourself a lot of favors to bring them down inbounds rather than forcing them out every time out there. They rode him about 5 yards to go out of bounds. Should have just taken him down inbounds.
Yeah, and just be ready because you could see a little pump and then a deep play here. So clock will run.
3:06 to play. Third quarter. Clock is running.
Need a score
Empty
here.
Empty backfield again.
For Blue Valley.
5 wide.
It's going to air this thing out.
Here we go.
Back wide open.
Oh, blown coverage that time. It was Joel Kafka lost his man, and a touchdown for Blue Valley North as they get on the scoreboard for the first time here in the second half. The receiver on that one was Cameron Burke, wide open in the corner of the end zone, and the Mustangs now have a chance to cut this lead to 10 with 2:51 to play here, third quarter.
So
this game not over. Yeah, he
Henry
throws a good
Martin.
ball. He throws a good ball.
And if I'm correct, I don't think he's thrown an incompletion now. So
No.
Henry Martin.
But that's his first pass downfield.
Right.
Dragons block the kick.
It is. It's dead in high school.
Blown dead in high school, but man, Dylan Jordan could have picked that one up and run a mile with it. But now it's they got to score 2 touchdowns to win it here, or come up with a 2-point conversion. As that kick is a very important block that time by Dylan Jordan. 2:51 to play, third quarter. Dragons lead at 27-16 after the blocked extra point attempt by Dylan Jordan. And now the Dragon offense, you got to think they're kind of feeling the pressure now. You got to get some first downs. You got to pick up some yards. Do your defense some favors and stay in bounds.
Yeah.
Don't go out of bounds. They get their instructions from the coaching staff. The kick return unit heads out there, and Avi, you mentioned it on the last kickoff that you kind of want to watch out for that onside kick. And in this situation now, after that quick score on the short field, the punt coverage team for the Dragons has not done them any favors tonight.
Yeah. Interesting here, Spencer Springer. This is how he does his kickoffs on the very right hash of the 40-yard line. So it makes these 4 guys right here all bunched up. So it's a possibility, as you see a little bit.
Yeah, they've got numbers over here to the near side. If he wants to try the onside kick to the near side, I don't know if it's quite that time for Coach Sims, and it's not, as he'll kick it deep. Brett Freeman will field this one in the end zone, and it's a touchback.
So now back out comes this offense, and this is going to be an interesting situation here, Josh, because momentum was on their side, and then a big, good defensive stand there for Blue Valley North, and so now they will try to do it again.
First and 10 for the Dragons from their own 20-yard line. 2:49 to play, third quarter. Come out in the shotgun once again. Jordan, the lone wide receiver to the near side. He'll go in motion. Here comes that jet sweep. There it is. And he fights ahead. There's a flag. And Pittsburg High probably going to be called for a hold in this situation. And that is not what you want if you're the Dragons. You got to go forward, not backwards. And that flag will stop the clock. Jeez, these guys are calling everything.
And it will go against Pittsburg High, so push them back even more.
A lot of flags in this game against the Dragons, that's for sure. Apparently Blue Valley North playing flawless football tonight.
About a 1st and 14, so they will give him where he ended the play.
Well, who knows? They're still moving it.
Yeah, well, I take that back. So now they push it back even further. So they will give the whole 10 yards.
Why not put it at the 1? All right.
So, yeah, it will be a 1st and 20.
Bad penalty that time. Holding, trying to get that jet sweep, trying to seal the corner. Now the Dragons looking at a 1st and long from deep in their own territory. And last time, Blue Valley North able to take advantage of a short field. And if the Dragons can't pick up some first downs here, they're looking at giving the Mustangs a short field once again. Hand it off on the inside. And Freeman, nothing going there. He's going to lose 5 yards on that play. And
starting to see.
Freeman hasn't broken too many tackles tonight. You might want to, in that situation, give the ball to a guy with a little more beef who can run through some tackles and push the pile forward.
Looks like it ended up being a loss of 5, Josh.
Yep,
Now
a loss of 5 on a running play. And Blue Valley's just pinning their ears back. Pittsburg High's a little more, it's a rough situation for any offensive play caller because you're so deep in your own territory. You're trying to protect the lead.
And they have 5 on the clock. They got to hurry up or they might have to burn a timeout. They're not going to get this off. They didn't get this off. And so now add 5 more. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, no.
This will be half the
They'll give them the
distance.
timeout. They'll give them the timeout. Coach Nick saw the clock running down, called timeout, and
dodged the bullet there.
Saved that penalty, which would have pushed him back to about the 2.5-yard line. An offensive front for the Dragons, committing a couple of crucial penalties here in their last 2 drives, have backed themselves up in their own goal line. So if you're Blue Valley North, this is exactly what you wanted in this situation. And Dragons, hopefully, if they find themselves in a punting situation, will kick it out of bounds. Because the punt return has been a killer tonight for the Mustangs.
Yeah, this is definitely big now for both sides. As PHS, you want to get that first down, get the motivation, because right now Blue Valley North, they're feeling good. They're excited. They have a potential chance here to get a safety. I mean, and that will put it to an 18-27 game or anything miraculous around that.
Well, you're going to have the pass rush coming at you. It's a good opportunity to throw a screen if you have one, but I wouldn't throw any cutesy backside screen to the, just try and get it right up the gut if you can. The Dragons haven't been able to turn the corner tonight against this Blue Valley defense at all. They have been able to throw the ball at times, though.
I tell you what, if they just keep this man-to-man, you got a chance to lob it up.
Yeah.
And I think they might do that.
Pass. He will. He'll let it go. And it's caught.
Beautiful
on the far side at the 20-yard line, close to the sticks. We'll see where the spot is. Pretty conservative, but it'll be a 3rd down and short here for the Dragons at the 20-yard line.
3rd and 11.
Oh, I'm sorry, 3rd and 11. I'm looking at the wrong stick. 3rd and 11, but hey, you get out of your own end zone there. And now they got a chance to run another play here and then pick this one up. It's much more manageable.
And that was a great route as well by White because he ran in what looked like it was going to be just an in route. Then he stopped it and came back outside.
Yeah, a little comeback to the sideline, able to shake loose the defender, and Rourke with a great pass right on the money, had some zip on the ball,
White,
got it to him.
One-on-one on the left side. No, they got to burn another timeout. They had 10 men on the field. So a wide receiver
Coach Nick
did not
happy about that. He's letting somebody hear about it. He's getting in the ear of
that looks like
Drew Hobbs.
Don't want to be that guy.
No, Hobbs is he's getting a fire lit under him right now.
And now, Josh, they only have 1 timeout left in the game. That is critical for late game situations. You want to keep those timeouts, but instead they had to burn 2 on this drive.
The Dragons just need to be, you're up in this ball game and you're happy to be where you are for sure, and you're student section is involved, but if you're a player on that sideline, you need to stay focused on the game. And a little bit of lack of concentration that time cost the Dragons a timeout as they have to get their personnel straight.
So now 3rd and 11. Definitely, possibly a passing situation. If not, the worst come, a halfback draw play to keep the clock going. So we'll see what Coach Nicholson has drawn up here for this team.
And this is a big, big play here for the Purple Dragons.
White, Kafka, and Dylan Jordan all out there, so they definitely have some weapons for Roark to throw to. It's like Jordan's actually going to be his running back.
There's the snap. Rourke back to pass. Good protection. He's going to pick this one up.
And it's intercepted.
Oh, no. Get up, Dylan.
Oh, big hit. And a flag is down. And
on the return, we'll see what this one is.
And Momentum.
And again, you have a player that doesn't normally play offense out there trying to catch a pass in double coverage, and Jordan had a shot at it but couldn't haul it in. The defender comes up with it, and that's a big momentum swing there for Blue Valley North. Exactly what the Dragons didn't want to do, and Blue Valley set up here at about the 30-yard line, pending the penalty, of course.
Illegal block in the back against Blue Valley after the interception, so the pick will stand, but they'll push them back a little bit to start their drive.
But just about the same place on the field where they started their last drive, so this Dragon defense, again, in their own territory, having to defend this lead. The offense not doing him any favors at all on these last two possessions. As we have about a minute left to play here in the third quarter, in this ball game, that clock seems to be creeping at this point. And really, the Dragons haven't had to play 4 full quarters of football all season long this year. They've gone to the running clock in both of their first 2 games, so this will be a physical test for Pittsburg High. There's a bad snap, just what the Dragons needed. And that one's loose, and
job by the freshman Henry Martin just to fall on it.
Able to fall on it, but they're going to lose about 12 yards on the play. It'll back them up to their own 48-yard line, and now that Dragon defense has a little more swagger, a little bit more room to operate here as they're looking at a second down and
23.
Yeah, long.
That is not what you wanted, because again, the motivation's on Blue Valley's side. They got the mo. They're trying to knock back on the door, and they got a freshman quarterback leading them there.
Now back to pass. Here they're going to throw a little wide receiver screen. He gets around the corner, and he's got room to operate, and this is going to be a quick score for Blue Valley.
And that's another touchdown. There are no flags on the field.
Oh, my goodness. And then look at that Blue Valley sideline. Look at this Dragon sideline. And that's what happens when your offense puts your defense up against it on 2 possessions in a row.
Amari Pescas Hickson.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Good play call.
Yeah. And so the freshman doing his job, getting the ball to his receivers, and they're doing it for him. Henry Martin.
Well, this Blue Valley squad, you knew they weren't going to go away.
No.
They got a lot of athletes, and they're a proud team. They're defending state champs in Class 6A. They're not going to go to bed on you. And so Pittsburg High now going to have to defend this 2-point conversion attempt here by Blue Valley North. 14 seconds to play.
They're going for 2 here.
Yeah, this has been a rough third quarter here for the Dragons. They'll throw this one up.
And it's caught.
Man,
so
it seems like the defensive backs all of a sudden for the Dragons are way out of sorts. They're letting people get behind them. And again, we had missed tackles on the outside that caused that easy touchdown. It was a good play call, but there were opportunities to get that one stopped, and the Dragons couldn't get it done. And Blue Valley right back in this ball game. They trail it 27-24 with 14 seconds left in the third quarter. We're going to step away for 30 seconds, and we'll be back. You're listening to Purple Dragon Football on ESPN 100.7 and streaming live at ESPN1007.com.
S&B Lawn Care, the leading lawn service in the area, offers a full range of commercial and residential lawn care services. S&B is local, reliable, and experienced, and they strive for 100% satisfaction for their clients. S&B can handle all of your mowing needs no matter what size, and provide a variety of other services such as leaf blowing, shrub removal, and mulch installation. S&B Lawn Care provides the best service possible from the first call to the completion of the project. Call S&B Lawn Care today at 620-308-6412.
Welcome back to Hutch Field, downtown Pittsburg, Kansas. And, man, if you thought this one was going to turn into a snoozer, you were sorely mistaken. The Dragons clinging to a 3-point lead, 27-24. 14 seconds left to play here in the third quarter against the defending 6A state champs, the Blue Valley North Mustangs. And that Mustang side of the field has come alive. They were looking pretty downtrodden earlier, but the Dragon offense has failed to pick up any first downs on their last 2 possessions and have actually moved backwards and given the Blue Valley North Mustangs a short field on 2 straight possessions, and they've cashed in both times. Now Jordan lets this one roll into the end zone for the touchback. The Dragons will take over on their own 20-yard line, and this offense needs to get it back in gear. That first drive of the second half was great, a 70-yard drive for a touchdown to give the Dragons a 27-10 lead, but since then, the offense has been in reverse, And Blue Valley North has taken advantage to get themselves with 14 unanswered points right back into this ball game.
And this is going to be a big drive indeed, Josh. They'll probably just run one play here, and then that'll be the end of the third quarter.
Oh, certainly. Only 14 seconds on the clock. Work in the gun. Here's the snap. Fakes the handoff. He'll take it himself. Spins off a man up the middle of the field. Has some open field in front of him. Finally brought down from behind at the 30-yard line. He'll have a first down. And the Dragons will have a 1st and 10 at their own 31 to start the fourth quarter. You got to imagine that they're not going to try and run another play here. And they won't. This thing's just going to tick. And that's the end of the third quarter. 1 quarter left to play. The Dragons find themselves in a dogfight here, but we knew it was going to be. They lead it 27-24 over the Blue Valley North Mustangs. We'll step away for 1 minute. We'll be back to listen to Purple Dragon Football on ESPN 100.7 and streaming live on ESPN1007.com.
Do you find it hard to work with a print company? At Pitcraft, they are not just your printer, they are your partner. Celebrating 75 years in business, Pitcraft can help and consult you through the process of creating and reproducing your organization's professional image through top-of-the-line commercial, print, and marketing mediums. Working with organizations such as the Kansas City Royals, the University of Kansas Athletics, and the NAIA Drives, Pitcraft believes that their success is a direct result of a great partnership, which is why they do not just sell a product, they sell a team effort to bring innovative and exciting marketing ideas to your organization. To kick off our partnership, we'd like to offer listeners a free full-color banner with your next purchase of $250 or more before September 30th. Call us at 800-557-7471 or visit www.pitcraft.com for details. Pitcraft, they're not just your
Welcome back to Hutchison Field, downtown Pittsburg, Kansas. Beautiful night for high school football, and this is definitely the premier high school football matchup in Southeast Kansas tonight. Dragons clinging to a 27-24 lead over the Blue Valley North Mustangs. They have it 1st and 10 at their own 31. They're going to pass over the top. That one too far for Dylan White, being held from behind. No call. So the Dragons looking for a flag, but don't get one. And that'll stop the clock. 11:56 to play in the ball game. Bring up the 2nd down and 10 after the incomplete pass. And it was, I don't know, I could see it. Did you see it?
Well, I got to tell you, Josh, that's definitely the right call for PHS. I mean, one-on-one matchup with
and a missed call.
Yeah. That's your best receiver, and he's one-on-one. You're definitely going to win that matchup almost 9 times out of 10.
Brandis Evans with the carry. He'll head up the middle for a gain of about 3, and there's a flag. And the Dragons probably going to be a hold against the Dragons. Apparently they're just...
And holding on the Dragons.
Yep, that's what it is. And so that'll move them back now to a 2nd and 10. Or a 2nd and 20 now, excuse me. And again, this definitely changes up the play call as well, too.
Yeah. If you're wearing purple, this game's getting called real tight tonight.
Not up here, I can tell you that. It's pretty hot up here. Clock will run, though.
2nd and 21 now for the Dragons. Not many plays in the playbook for this situation. You just try and get it in chunks.
Spread the field. They might just run it up to the inside here. Or it'll be quick passing. That's what it's going to be.
Out to Rourke. Rounds the corner at the 25. Forced out of bounds at the 27.
Just got Kafka on a bubble route there.
I'm sorry, yeah, Kafka. Rourke hit Kafka in the flat on the bubble screen. And pick up some of it, but it's still going to be 3rd and 14. Not nearly enough that time, and we're still looking at a long yardage situation here on 3rd down for the Dragons. What you don't want here is a flag that's going to back you up. That's what they've had on their last 2 possessions. And you just want to see something positive here that will at least allow you to get the ball out of your own territory if you got to play defense here. 3 wide receivers to the far side. Shotgun formation for Rourke. Low snap. He's got it, though. Rolls far side. Looks downfield. Has time. Lets it fly. Oh, right through the hands of Brett Wiemers. Couldn't come up with it. Landed hard on his back. Comes up a little gimpy.
Yeah.
And that's going to force the Dragons into a punting situation. That's going to put Blue Valley's offense back out on the field. And these Mustangs have scored on their last 2 possessions. The last one, a quick strike for about 40 yards.
And now again, the backup quarterback, Kendall Hargens, is back there.
Wiemers is not moving well out there.
I don't know if he's a gunner on this punt play, but
he's not going to be gunning very much.
He is struggling right now. Let's take a look at that. He will be a gunner on this. Yeah, he is just.
Man, I don't know about that.
So if you're PHS here, Dylan White, you kind of want to punt to the right side.
You want to punt it out of bounds.
Yeah.
There's a low snap, flag on the play. And he punts it inbounds. Takes a hop, going to be fielded. And here we go. Runs through an arm tackle, cross midfield, at the 45, at the 40. And he's going to come back, spins off a man. They're going to get him by the shirt tail and bring him down at the 15-yard line. Kick it out of bounds.
And
there's a flag out of bounds. What do you want to bet that's against Pittsburg High?
So we have 2 flags on the play. There's a player down.
On the far side, it looks like it's a Mustang.
Yeah.
So we got a flag before the kick and then a flag out of bounds after the return. And a good return that time by Kendall Hargens. I don't know how many good returns we're going to have to see before somebody kicks the ball out of bounds.
Looks like that Blue Valley player who was injured is now up and okay. But now this is interesting. 2 flags on this play.
This is going to mean about a 10-minute conference on this one.
We'll walk over to the Blue Valley head coaching side. So
yeah, he's going to have an option to accept or decline something here. So this is not good news for the Dragons and your defense with their back against the wall already, clinging to a 3-point lead. The Dragon offense has made some plays tonight, but man, they've needed them here in the last 10 minutes, and they just haven't been there. And the defense has been called upon again and again, deep in their own territory.
Yes, okay, so it was an unsportsmanlike at the end of the play or a late hit, and that's against PHS. So that's 15 after.
Well, it's going to be half
distance, yeah.
No, it could put them at the 1 because they're outside the 15. Oh, no, they're going to do half so it'll be about the 7-yard line.
I believe the first one, I'm not sure what the call was. Not 100% on my referee calls, but I think it was an eligible man downfield right off the bat. Coach Nicholson arguing that
you can't
call.
say the Dragons have got any sort of home cooking tonight from the officiating, that's for sure.
Now, big situation here for this defense, Josh. 1st and 10, they got a freshman who's making all of his passes to his guys while the guys are doing the rest of the work.
1st and goal at the 7-yard line, or at the 8-yard line, for Blue Valley North. Empty backfield. He's just going to throw that one away. Is that not intentional grounding? He's in the pocket. He threw it away, straight out of bounds to avoid a sack. Nope, no flag. Okay.
Second and goal.
You know, if there was a textbook case of intentional grounding, that would be it. Not intentional grounding, though. Nope, that's not. Apparently that's legal. Now, here's the snap, low.
Again.
Handles it. Graham throwing over the middle, has a man.
And
Jarek Busher couldn't keep up with him. Looking for some help on the outside. He was out on an island. And a good play call again. And Blue Valley North takes the lead here, 30-27, with just under 11 minutes left to play in the ballgame. And Dragon defense has come up big several times, but I think they've been asked to come up big too many times.
Yeah. Now, this is an interesting extra point here, Josh, because last time it was blocked, and now this is a 3-point game. So we'll see if they can get it again. This time
nope, that one's up and good.
4-point game.
Dragons are going to need a touchdown to take the lead here, and the Dragon offense better come back here and wake up here in the 4th quarter. We'll step away for 30 seconds. We'll be back. Dragons trailing at 31-27
You're listening to Pittsburg High School football on ESPN 100.7 and streaming live on ESPN1007.com.
Welcome to orthopedic specialists of the 4 states on a mission to restore patients' quality of life.
People feel like they're not in a doctor's office as much of it as a place of healing. And that's what we're really striving for.
From medical treatments and physical therapy to non-surgical and minimally invasive procedures to the most challenging musculoskeletal surgeries, Ortho 4 States provides a compassionate, patient-focused approach to world-class orthopedic care.
Now back to Dragon football.
Welcome back to Hutchinson Field, downtown Pittsburg, Kansas. Under 11 minutes to play in the ball game, and for the first time tonight, well, no, for the second time tonight, the Blue Valley North Mustangs take the lead, 31-27, again with a short field. They've had 3 short fields on 3 straight possessions, on 3 outstanding punt returns.
Gotta fix something.
Yeah.
Gotta fix something.
I'm tired of saying kick the ball out of bounds. But the Dragons' offense now needs to score. Punting is no longer an issue. You're not in a position to punt any longer. So Pittsburg High has come up with some points here on the offensive side of the football. Brett Freeman, Dylan Jordan back to return the kick for the Dragons. The kick is away, angling, and out of bounds. So that'll set the Dragons up with half-decent field position at their own 35 to start this drive, first down and 10. They needed something to go their way.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of surprised there was a flag.
We have first and 10. Pittsburg High is going to get some good field position here. And you can do a lot of things. 10:47, there's a lot of ball game left in this one here, Josh.
A lot of time, but no time like the present. The offense is starting picking up yards for the Dragons. They've gone in reverse on their last 3 possessions. 1 turnover and 2 punts. And that has allowed 3 straight touchdowns by Blue Valley North to let them get back into this ball game. This is a team you knew wasn't going to go away. And like I said earlier, this is the first time the Dragons have had to play 4 full quarters of football all season long. The last first 2 games, this was JV time.
Counter
Going
play.
back the other way, counter to Dylan Jordan. He goes out across the 35 to about the 36-yard line, 37 maybe. They're going to call it a gain of 2 on the play.
Looked dead at first. I didn't know if he was going to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Those slow developing plays in the backfield just haven't been there tonight for the Dragons. You just don't have the time. That defensive front for Blue Valley North has been in the Dragon backfield for most of this ball game. They're going to huddle up. Trenton Austin into the ball game now on the wide receiver spot here to the near side. Shotgun formation for Rourke with 2 backs in the backfield, Freeman and Evans. There's the snap, back to pass. Looking, and nobody home. Threw it behind.
And I tell you what,
Trenton Austin.
he got lucky because that looked like a pick. If he would have threw that right to Austin, it would have been a pick. Austin was trying to plead his case there as he was asking the ref because he was getting held.
Yeah, well, you know.
Now makes it a 3rd and 8. And if you're Pittsburgh right now, you can't afford to get this 4th down, Josh. You got to get this 1st down. Got to get something going because you don't want that punt team to go out there again.
No, you don't want to give the ball back to that Blue Valley offense, which has pretty much scored at will here over the last 10 minutes. Now they're showing pressure up the middle. And what is the call here?
It's a delay of game. So add 5 to that, so now it's a 3rd and 12.
Dragons' penalties have just killed this offensive unit at the end of the 3rd here and in the 4th quarter. 3rd down and 12 now for the Dragons. It's not a insurmountable distance, but man, you're making it hard on yourself, that's for sure.
Not in your favor. And they're running what looks like a man defense with a safety over the top. They will probably help on on White on the right side.
Takes the handoff to Evans, steps up in the pocket, now hit from behind. Fortunate to hold onto the ball, and Rourke goes down with the sack. That pocket closed up quickly on Rourke. He tried to step up into it, thought about scrambling, but
Reed Spockman
not enough time.
with the sack. And so now that brings up a 4th and long, and here we go again, Josh. This is the big factor that has been killing PHS all second half. It's a 4th and long. They definitely have to punt this thing. Kendall Hargens is back there, and last time he got it all the way down to the 20-yard line before getting tackled.
See if this one goes out of bounds.
And Brett Weimers is out there. Not sure if he's still limping around or whatnot. They will rugby style it.
And they'll kick it inbounds again.
It was a good punt, though. And
nice kick over the head. See if they can get there and get this one down. And they do at the 8-yard line, so that one works out for the Dragons. A good punt that time by Dylan White, just what they needed.
And I think Hargens was a little surprised there. He thought that one was going to be a short squib. And
yep. Well over his head.
Yeah.
And the Dragon defense now with a little bit of cushion. But they got to stop those big plays. They've given up a couple of big ones to Blue Valley North on the last couple of possessions. And this defensive unit's got to be pretty gassed. They've spent most of this second half out on the field. And they're being asked to come up with a big possession here once again. We'll see if they can answer the bell for Pittsburg High.
They're going to need to. 9 minutes on the clock, and Josh, now you have to look at it. They only have one timeout to stop the clock. Pittsburgh does.
4 wide receivers in this set. A shotgun.
Low.
They hand it off. And tackle from behind. That was Pesic Hickson on it. I thought it was Detmer for a minute.
He was just waiting that whole time until something developed, and then he took off. That's the first time I've seen him do that, is he normally just goes right through.
Yep. And a little bit of John after the play. No flag. They'll stay with this 4 wide receiver set and the shotgun. Graham's look good.
We'll throw.
Now show batted down. Nice play on the outside that time. That was Shea Mankin.
Yeah.
Coming off the edge there, and he's out there in relief of Steele, who couldn't play the night. In the concussion protocol until the Ulysses game.
So 3rd down, you gotta have this play right here. Your Pittsburgh High. Get the crowd back into it. See if you can make a play. Make this freshman do something he hasn't done his whole life, really.
There's a snap. Graham rolling near side. Mankin pursuing. He'll float this one up.
That's a good deflection.
Dylan White deflects it. Could have come up with the interception, but couldn't get both hands on it. And it'll force Blue Valley North into a punting situation here with 8:15 to play.
And even though their back is against the wall, I think they're okay with their punter booting this thing from his own end zone.
Yeah, here comes like a 70-yard punt. This kid's got a leg. He's built like a tank.
Yeah, he doesn't look like your traditional punter.
Nope, this is a different punter in the game, actually.
Is it?
Nope. That's Cameron Burt back there to punt now. He'll rugby style it. And it's going to go out of bounds.
About the 42,
yeah,
46.
The Mustang 46-yard line. Yeah. Dragon offense on the plus side of the field. Start this drive. We trail it by 4, 31-27 with 8:05 to play in the ball game. Dragon offense needs to come up with something here.
Well, this start right here just helps in general.
You're not going to get a much better situation than this. Defense did its job, got the stop, forced the punt. Now the offense being called upon to win this ball game, or at least get the lead here for the Dragons. I formation, double tight. 2 wide receivers off to the far side. Evans and Freeman in the backfield. Take the handoff, rolling out is Rourke. Looking downfield, he'll throw it up to Evans. Pass broken up at the last minute. Nice defensive play that time by Kendall Hargens.
Yeah. Colin Hargens' name quite a bit here in this second half, and not at the quarterback role either.
Nope. Kind of had a rough go of it at the quarterback spot, and they made that crucial change at halftime, going to Graham. And Hargens has made some plays, though. He made up for that 100-yard pick six he threw to end the first half.
Dragons offense just sputtering here over their last few possessions. Work in the gun. Hands off to Evans. He's tackled immediately. That is not there. That play is not there for the Dragons tonight.
Luka Ivicic.
3rd down and 10 now, and here we go. It's like a broken record. The Dragons 3rd and long once again. 7:40 and counting to play in the ball game as Kafka will head over to the sidelines to get a breather. Dylan Jordan into the ball game for the Dragons.
And neither is Dylan White out on the play either. So you're
That's
two
a
deep threats.
crucial 3rd down. Neither of those guys is on the field. And here's the jet sweep to Jordan. Rounds the corner. Don't slow down, young man. Keep going. He's on his feet. He has the first down. And out of bounds to stop the clock is Dylan Jordan. First down for the Dragons. That's a big play. That jet sweep. We've seen him fake it a couple times. We've seen him try to run it to no effect a couple times. That time it happened. It worked for the Dragons. They pick up the first down. They'll have it 1st and 10 at the Mustang 30-yard line. So the offense showing some life here. 7:11 to play. Clock stops while they set the chains. Now they'll wind it.
Looks like they
haven't wound it yet. Home cooking with the clock there. And the handoff to Brandis Evans right up the middle, rolls ahead, and he'll pick up about 5 yards on the read option that time. That'll give the Dragons a 2nd down and about 6 at the Blue Valley 26-yard line.
Clock winding down.
Under 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Dragons come to the line. 10 seconds on the play clock. I formation, double tight. Jumbo set this time for the Dragons. Rourke under center. The handoff to Evans. He's met immediately in the backfield.
That ball almost came out, too. That was a scary situation there for Pittsburg High.
That was number 23. I want to say Tate Keene on the tackle that time, and he could have taken the handoff. He was back there so fast.
Yeah.
Timed that snap perfectly. So 3rd down and about 6 for the Dragons.
And again,
after the loss of a yard.
No Kafka, no White on a huge 3rd down situation.
Evans and Jordan in the backfield behind Rourke. 2 tight ends set. Toss sweep to Jordan up the middle. Goes straight ahead. And he cuts it, tries to cut it inside, and gets brought down after a short gain. And just use your momentum and go straight ahead. He could have picked up another 2 or 3 yards there. And it's going to bring up a 4th and 4. Now there's a flag.
And that.
What in the...
And so,
Dylan Jordan, again, called for an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Just can't keep it under control as far as the emotions go in this one. And that's the 3rd unsportsmanlike penalty that we've seen called against Jordan as he takes a seat on the bench, and he may not get up off of that bench. Now they're going to walk this thing off. It's going to be 4th and forever for the Dragons. So Dylan Jordan not doing his team any favors.
I think this is now 4th
and 20.
19.
Yeah, 4th and 19.
So what was a close situation, 4th down that they could possibly convert, Josh.
Yep.
Now turned into a desperate situation now for PHS.
4 wide receivers in the set. Trips off to the far side. Here's the snap. Rourke rolls out, looking deep. He'll throw it up. Dylan White, way too high, incomplete, no flag. And the Dragons turned it over on downs. And that one
hurts.
That one's killed by a penalty.
Yeah.
Unsportsmanlike penalty. There's a lot of lessons to be learned here tonight for the Dragons, and they've certainly showed up and given Blue Valley North all they can handle in this ball game, and it's not over yet.
No.
But one of those lessons needs to be to keep your emotions under control. And we see Dylan Jordan kind of taking a walk off the field as he's may have been ejected. I don't know. I don't know if he was ejected by the officials or by Coach Nick, but
looks like his night might be done, and that is crucial.
Yeah, one of your best pass rushers, one of your best athletes in general, takes himself out of the ball game. Now there's a penalty flag. I think it's going to be a false start.
Yeah, so moving back. And here we go, Josh. There's 5:18 on the clock. Pittsburgh High only has one timeout because in the third quarter they wasted 2 on one drive, but their backs against their own wall.
Yep. Wasted 2 timeouts deep in their own territory with personnel issues to prevent and delay a game both times. And now they're really got their backs up against the wall here in this situation. There's a snap. Fumble. Nobody sees it. And I think Blue Valley North able to hang on to it.
It literally landed in the hands of a Blue Valley North Mustang.
Yeah, that's a very fortuitous bounce for the Mustangs.
Wow.
They're able to hold on to that one. And that seemed to be rolling around on the ground for about 5 minutes there. Nobody in purple saw it. And Blue Valley North able to hold on to it. They'll have it 2nd down and 5 at about the 35-yard line.
Well,
unfortunate for the Dragons, they weren't able to. That was a golden opportunity there to get the ball back.
You didn't get the ball, but on the bright side, they didn't gain anything. So for PHS, there's a bit of a sigh of relief there. Yeah, now it's a 2nd and 15.
There's a snap, back to pass, throwing, and it's caught at the 45, knocked out of bounds, stop the clock. That ball completed to Cameron Burt. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and manageable 3 yards. So a good completion that time by Graham. This is a good-looking kid.
Yeah.
For a freshman, sheesh.
And I promise you, Josh, I don't think he expected to step on the field so early. Maybe later in the game if it was,
earlier I might have jinxed this when I said they brought all their freshmen, but hopefully none of them would play.
Yeah.
I was really hoping this kid wouldn't show up. 4:34 to play. A 3rd down and short. Big play here for the Dragon defense as they hand it off. And they're gonna.
This is close.
That's short. He's gonna be short. If you get a decent spot here, an accurate one, they will be short of the 1st down.
I think you got the best
that is the most generous spot, and they're gonna give him the 1st down. Wow. Oh no! They're gonna come out and measure, but that is a very, very, very generous spot. But they're short.
And they're short.
Now, if you're Blue Valley North, the way your defense has been playing, the way the Dragon offense has looked,
you got to go for it.
I don't know. I think you punt it here.
Think so?
Yeah. You pin that Dragon defense back. You punt this ball away. You got the lead.
Well, they're going to bring this out to the middle of the field and get the measurement.
Reset the ball at the hash.
That's short.
And they need inches. 3 inches. And they might go for it. They might go for the dagger here. But, man, for a team that's fumbled so many handoffs and snaps, this is a pretty gutsy call.
Yeah.
Pretty gutsy call to go for it here.
And to have a freshman quarterback to be the guy.
Yeah, and you have the lead. You just punt it away. The Dragon offense has done nothing.
So here we go. The clock has not started.
All right. Well, Coach Sims, bit of a riverboat gambler here. Going for it on 4th and short. They're going to line up in the shotgun. I guarantee it's going to be a handoff to Pesic Hickson. Nope.
They give it to
the
outside. It's a sweep, and it's a 1st down.
And that's a big one.
That was Nick Detmer.
Yep, Detmer picks it up. Dragons were keying on Pesic Hickson. He's certainly the guy I thought was going to get the ball in that play. And the clock, as soon as they set the chains, will continue to roll. We're looking at 4:15 to play in the ball game, and
now it's do or die. Now you can't give up another 1st down here, Josh. You only got one timeout. You have to do everything you can to stop them here. 13 seconds. They still haven't got out of the huddle, so they might have to hurry up here.
They'll get the play off. This is normal, right? Graham in the shotgun, flanked by 2 backs in the backfield, 3 wide receivers.
Again, and it's still down. And I think this time the Purple Dragons might have it. No. Wow.
Gosh, man, how many times? They can't get on the loose ball. There's so many opportunities here on this drive for the Dragons to come away with the ball, and they can't get it done.
I tell you, it looked like I saw a Purple Dragon
That's
land on it.
That's a heartbreaker. Well, you might land on it, but you got to hang on to it. Man. Where was that on that 4th down play,
Yeah.
course, it ended up gaining yards. So, no, actually, they lost one on it.
Another
low snap. Pesic Hickson hit in the backfield.
He's met at the line of
Is
scrimmage.
he going to go down? Finally, ridden down in the backfield. And he's down. Down. Real slow to get up.
And they will stop the clock on this one.
Injury timeout. He's
all right. I was about to say he wasn't moving.
Yeah,
for a second there,
he went down real hard on that shoulder.
He took a couple blows there.
Yeah, but the shoulder appears to be okay because he's moving it. So
no, they're checking it.
Could just have rung his bell a little bit there.
You hate to see that.
Oh
as
man,
well,
yeah.
Josh,
And I keep mentioning, a really good basketball player. You don't want to lose him for basketball season.
Well, he's up. That's a good thing.
And he was going to trot off. So.
Third and long.
Went down hard, had a lot of weight land on top of him on that play. So let's see if they set this one and wind it here, what the deal is. Blue Valley North over there in a huddle on the sidelines. They're looking at a third down and 12 at the Pittsburg High 49-yard line. Play clock's running.
I don't think they know that, Josh.
I don't think they care. They usually get up to the line with
they got the water boy still
10
out
seconds. Here they come. They'll get out there. They got plenty of timeouts. I don't think Coach Sims is worried. They know the play. They get lined up. 3.
Yeah, they got
a timeout.
Yeah. They had their water boy still out there with about 13 seconds on the play clock.
2:39 to play in the ball game. Dragons trail it by 4, 31-27. Blue Valley North with the ball, but they're looking at a third down and long.
Hey, and this helps Pittsburg High.
Stop the clock. They need to stop here. They can't give up one of those big pass plays again that gives them a fourth and short that they can then convert. You got to get a stop here on third down. Keep this from being a positive play. Force them into a no-brainer punting situation. Or, ideally, come up with a turnover when the ball's loose on the ground. Dragons have had their opportunities here in the fourth quarter, haven't been able to come up with the loose ball. They were able to do it a couple times in the first half on 2 of those unforced fumbles. They were also able to come up with some interceptions that just haven't been here in the second half either. I think that might have to do more with who's at the quarterback position.
Here we go, Josh. Third and long, potentially the game on the line.
Ram in the gun, 2 backs to his left. He'll roll out. Tries to pick up a block. Now he's going to just try and scramble with his speed. Right across the 45, goes down inbounds.
Yeah, smart.
Doesn't get the first down, but keeps the clock running. And they'll put him in a
timeout. He does.
Yep. Nicholson calls the timeout. Stops the clock. 2:25 to play in the game. Now a punting situation for Blue Valley North, you would think.
And you got a good punter, but he punts it deep. So you want to sky this thing and make sure you don't get this in the back of the end zone.
And even if they do, you're going to force the Dragons to go 80 yards in 2.5 minutes, and they have
no timeouts.
They haven't moved the ball very well here in the second half at all, except for that first drive. They went 70 yards, but they burned a lot of time doing it.
Yeah.
The Dragons going to have to dig into that playbook to find some chunk plays.
I tell you, I'm kind of interested here because I've not seen a couple substitutions or anything over there for Blue Valley, so it looks like their offense is still huddled up.
Maybe they go for it here. I don't know.
This is
and go for the kill.
Yeah.
If they can convert this, it's pretty much ball game. They can just kneel on it. Pittsburg High just burned their last time out. So if you're Coach Sims, maybe you send your offense back out there and just try and pick this one up.
Might. Josh, it looks like they're going.
No, it looks like punt formation to me. Yep, punt formation.
Okay, there it is. And so it will be Cameron Burke to punt this thing off.
Joel Kafka back to return for Pittsburg High. Stands at his own 10-yard line. Here's the snap. Rugby-style kick. It's off.
And it's
high end over end. It's going to take a hop at the 10 and go out of bounds. Nice punt. And the Dragons going to be forced to go 90 yards. And there's 2:16 left to play in the ball game. Going to need some big plays here if you're the Dragons, and it's a tough situation because you're not in a position to run the football, can't stop the clock with the timeout, so you're going to have to do it with the pass.
Well, and here's the thing. They've been running man-to-man defense all night long. They've had safety covering over the top, so that's probably meaning that it's double coverage for Dylan White. So that means White is almost eliminated most of the times on these plays. So you're going to have to look at Kafka. You might have to throw a back out there. Look at your tight end possibly. Roark can't throw it all the time to White here.
He's lined up on the far sideline. He trips to the near side.
They're going to back off this time with him.
Now here's the snap. Work looking to pass. Quick hitter outside of Brett Freeman. Kind of loses his footing. Now cuts it upfield across the 10, 15, and out of bounds at the 17-yard line. So a gain of about 7 yards on the play, and a flag late afterwards. And that one's going to go against number 51 for the Mustangs. That was Jack Stallard.
That's big.
The defensive end.
That's really big. And I got to tell you,
that's a 15-yard penalty. That moves the ball 15 yards down the field and doesn't move the clock one single tick. So that's a big play there for Pittsburg High. Gives them a first down, maybe a little bit of life here.
And as a former wide receiver myself, I got to credit Brett Weimers on that play there, Josh, because
that block sprung him.
His block. He actually could have did a block in the back, but he let off and he put his hands up. And if that would have been easy 15, and that would have backed him up. So kudos to him for playing smart late in this game.
Heady play. Now there's a timeout. Coach Sims wants to talk it over. And that's their second timeout of the second half. So Mustangs still have one to work with. Dragons will come and talk it over here as they have it first down and 10 at their own 32-yard line. Man, the drama. This game just won't quit. Dragons look to have it in the bag, but man, the offense just kind of put the defense in some bad situations in the third quarter, and late in the third and early in the fourth quarter. Allowed 3 straight touchdowns for Blue Valley North, allowed them to take the lead 31-27 after the Dragons led it 27-10. So a 21-0 run by Blue Valley North here in the second half, and all of that with their freshman quarterback, Graham, because
an injury.
Graham Mertz, the starting quarterback, was taken out with a leg injury in the first half, and they kind of scrambled a little bit, but got it back together during that 45-minute halftime, and came out in the second half with a new freshman quarterback and a new breath of life. Took the lead back. Now the Dragons with their last chance here.
There it is.
One's going up. Oh!
Perfect again. That's the right call. It's
Trenton Austin.
It's one-on-one matchup on the outside. If they have the safety help on the other side, you got the one-on-one. That's the right play.
Austin couldn't come up with it, thrown a little bit out in front of him, but you don't want to underthrow that ball.
Yeah, no.
That's where the coverage is. So Austin unable to lay out and get that one. It stops the clock, brings up a second down and 10 for the Dragons from their own 32.
Only lost 5 seconds on that play. And now they put White on this side now. So we'll see. Might see Hargens here shift over to the left side.
We're going to roll out far side, looking downfield. He'll let this one fly. Tipped up in the air and out of bounds. Intended for Joel Kafka and tipped away.
Dodged a bullet there.
Out of bounds. Rourke ends up on his backside, stops the clock, 1:58 to play, but the Dragons staring down the barrel of a third down and long here.
And when you run that rollout, Josh, you know it's automatically going to that side. So that just puts everybody to swing over that way. So a big 3rd and 10. You don't want an incomplete pass. You want to catch and get some yards here. Make it a shorter player for a fourth
you're
down.
Definitely in fourth down territory.
Pump and go.
Pump and go. Here's the pass over the top. Dylan White. Oh, almost intercepted. And White got a little shot in there on the end trying to break that one up. But now Dragons with a 4th down and long. And it's all coming down to this one play here for Pittsburg High, their last gasp.
See, that's not what you want there. That's triple coverage. That's almost mission impossible right there.
Well, you got your best receiver, your best set of hands. You're going to try and go to your playmaker and let him make a play. And that time he had to make a play against 3 guys. So now Coach Sims will burn his final timeout with 1:52 to play. Dragons trailing at 31-27. Pittsburg High had a 20-10 lead, or a 21-10 lead, I'm sorry, at the half. They came out first drive of the third quarter, went 70 yards, scored a touchdown to take a 27-10 lead. But then the offense went in reverse on 3 straight possessions, setting the Mustangs up in great field position, and they took advantage 3 times in a row, scoring 21 unanswered. And Kay came roaring back to take this 31-27 lead. Now the Dragons facing a 4th down and 10, their last chance here in this ball game because no timeouts left, can't stop the clock. If they fail to convert this 4th down, then the Mustangs come out, take some knees, and go home with the win on their fancy tour bus.
And Josh, I got to tell you, this is a 4th down. You don't want to roll out. You don't want to cause that. You don't want to fade route. If I'm PHS, do something they haven't seen. It's a man defense. Throw in the middle of the field. Get past the linebackers that are running their little zone towards there, and then once you get past them,
settle down behind the linebackers.
You have a wide open slot there. It's a cover. It's a cover 3 over the top man defense.
Things take time. Shotgun formation, trips to the far side. Dylan White, lone wide receiver to the near side. Work rolls far side, has some blocks, throws it out there. It's caught. Trent Austin with the catch out of bounds. First down for the Dragons at their own 47-yard line, so it's not over yet.
Stop the clock, get some momentum here, talk it over. You got plenty of time. You know, in high school, a minute 46 is actually a lot of time. You can stop the clock on first downs. The chain's got to move over. You can spike the ball. You got a lot of options that you can do whenever you got the clock against you.
The Dragon offense trying to come up big here against the defending 6A state champions. They have it first down and 10.
Trick's right this time.
In the waning moments of this ball game. There's the snap. Rolls near side. Gonna throw this one up. It's caught. Joe Kappa has it. He's at the 20, 15, forced out of bounds at the Mustang 14-yard line, and the Dragons are in business.
And now, first down, minute 37. Again, Josh, plenty of time on this clock. Plenty of time.
And at this point, you start thinking about how much time you leave for the Mustangs. You want to make sure you want to score here, but you know they got a good kicker. Now you can run the ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be afraid to run the ball in this situation here to start that clock running.
Roll out, looks like a quick
it is quick screen to Freeman. Gets a block on the outside, cuts inside the 5. 3 touchdown Dragons! He's in the end zone. Brett Freeman gives the Dragons a 3-point lead, or I'm sorry, a 2-point lead pending the extra point. A minute 27 left to play in this ball game. And no timeouts left for the Mustangs.
Even though that was the big play, this is the biggest play right here.
Yeah.
You've got to get this extra point. This is very crucial.
Yeah. This means a field goal ties instead of wins, so the Dragons need this extra point. Catch my breath. Caden Bressler in to attempt the point after for the Dragons.
Big kick here by Bressler. They're bringing the house. You know that.
Kick is up, and it's good. Dragons take a 3-point lead on their home turf against the defending 6A state champions. And Avi, no matter how this thing turns out,
what a game.
You know something about these Dragons now. You know something about your team. They played 4 quarters of football tonight against the defending 6A state champ, and they answered the bell every time out tonight. They faced adversity. They've gotten plays from the defense, plays from the offense when they've needed them desperately. Now, the defense has to bow up one more time, come up with a stop. And you know you got to watch those little bubble screens and stuff. That's what's gashed them in the last quarter. So the Dragon defense needs to come out big here in this last minute 27 of this ball game.
I was about to say, you know, the best thing about all this is 3-point game. We got 65 points up on the board. Minute 30 still on the clock, Josh. Hang on tight.
Yep, there's a lot of football left here.
And, you know,
87 seconds.
If you didn't think the moment was big enough, they're gonna rely on a freshman quarterback to lead them down the field to potentially try to win or tie this game. How crazy is that?
Henry Martin, freshman quarterback.
We're about to see.
And they've put the ball in the turf quite a few times on that center quarterback exchange. Man, there's some things that Blue Valley North needs to straighten out there, and let's hope it bites them.
We'll see.
On this last drive. Dragons used all the help they can get at this point. I mean, these kids have got to be gassed. This has been a hell of a game.
Key thing as well, Josh, Blue Valley wasted all their timeouts there, so they have none left either. So this is a no timeout game now for either side.
Bressler set to kick this one away. Low end over end kick, going to be fielded.
It's their workhorse.
Yep. Pesic Hickson, he
hang
breaks
on here.
loose and gets hit and brought down at the 42-yard line. The Dragons make the stop.
That's big.
But that's great field position. Minute 27.
Plenty of time.
That's a lot of time to go 56 yards.
And from what it looks like, their kicker's got quite a leg as well. So
you don't need to go 56
lot
yards.
of
You only need to
options
go
there.
about 30 yards, and they could probably get this one done.
Minute 19 on the clock.
And now how big is Dylan Jordan's ejection, man? You need that pass rush here.
Yeah.
You could use his athleticism against the run. Took himself out of the ball game, so this Dragon defense is going to have to dig in. You got some reserves, some role players in there trying to make a difference here. There's the snap. Back to pass, looking deep.
He's got a man.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
down
man.
at the 20-yard line. How do you let somebody get behind you in that situation? Dragon defensive backs, man, as good as they looked in the first half, they've let some big plays go here in the second. That one hurts.
You got to think they're almost already in field goal range here, Josh.
That one hurts. Yep, they're in field goal range right now, looking at a 1st and 10 at the Dragon 22-yard line.
Clock is
a
now
minute
going.
and 8 to play. Dragon defense needs to come up with a play here.
They're not looking for that field goal, Josh. First
No.
instincts, touchdown.
There we go. There's the sack. A big sack that time. Clay Mankin coming in
Clock is ticking.
on the sack. It'll bring up a 2nd down and long at the Dragon 34-yard line. We're now under 48 seconds and counting to play in the ball game. Graham lines him up in the shotgun. He's got the play call. No time to waste here. Looking for the quick hitter, and it's dropped.
Complete. Stops the clock. 37 on the clock. 3rd and 22.
Now if you're the Dragon defensive backs, don't let anybody get behind you. If you're playing safety, take an extra 4 or 5 steps back and make sure nothing gets behind you here.
You're preventing touchdown first here. If they make the play, they make the catch, so what?
Then they still got to make that kick.
Yeah.
You've blocked one already, even though the guy who blocked it's out of the game. You got a Dragon losing his lunch over there at about the 31-yard line. Still in the game, though. This is where that conditioning comes in. Losing his lunch again. My goodness. Graham back to pass. Airs this one out.
And is that intercepted?
It's intercepted! It's intercepted! The Dragons win the ball game! A huge interception!
And I'm not sure who's able to come up with that, but from the looks of
And it's a touchback. The Dragons will have it at their own 20, so they can kneel down on it in the victory formation and come away with the win. Ladies and gentlemen, Hutchison Field has been around since the Great Depression, built by the WPA. I don't know if there's ever been a better game played at this stadium.
Phenomenal.
Oh, my goodness.
And Josh,
This squad has some heart.
I think no better way to end this game than your senior captain on the defensive side in Jarek Butcher. I believe he was the one that had the interception. What a play.
I don't know. Let's see. I thought it might have been White, but who knows?
I
Who
couldn't
cares?
tell, yeah.
There's the kneel down.
That's the dagger.
And that's your ball game, ladies and gentlemen. The Pittsburg High School Purple Dragons moved to 3-0 on the year. The Blue Valley North Mustangs, your defending Class 6A state champion, 0-3.
Yeah, and you know, hats off to both teams. PHS, the motivation's still going. For that Blue Valley North team, though, for all the things that they went through today, starting quarterback gone, backup quarterback woes, a freshman quarterback that
all the turnovers, all the problems with the center. I mean, man, they fought back, and
kudos to
they
them.
showed something too. This is a team that knows how to win, and they don't go down lightly, and they certainly didn't tonight. They played a heck of a ball game against Pittsburg High, but the Dragons tonight, man, a team from Class 4A, Southeast Kansas, just handed Blue Valley North their 3rd straight loss this season. And Coach Nicholson's got to be on cloud 9.
Might be a minute before we see
Yeah,
him up
might
here.
be a minute before we see old Coach Nick up here. We may not even see Coach Nick up here, but I'm sure he'd like to come and talk about it for certain. But that's the end of regulation. Man, I need to bring my pulse rate back down to I'm in the red right now. Dragons win it 34-31 over the Blue Valley Mustangs. We'll step away for 2 minutes, and we'll be back. You're listening to Purple Dragon Football on ESPN 100.7 and streaming live at ESPN1007.com. Oh, man. Whew. Welcome back to Hutchison Field, downtown Pittsburg, Kansas. Man. Whew.
Still hard to catch your breath.
Gosh, man, I can't believe what I just saw. Pittsburg High School Purple Dragons, man, you know, they looked real good the first couple weeks of the season, but we really learned something about this team here tonight. It was a measuring stick game. We said it all week long. Coach Nick said it last week, said it in the pregame this week. His team measured up. I mean, this is a squad of players right here for the Dragons, and they gutted one out tonight against the Blue Valley North Mustangs, the defending Class 6A state champs. I keep saying that. They lost 30 seniors, obviously not the same team this year, but a well-coached team, and you're part of a system. And tonight the Dragons beat that system. And they overcame adversity left and right, Avi. They exceeded expectations, in my opinion. Everybody that I talked to thought the Dragons would give them a good run, but then the athleticism of the Mustangs would take over, and we kind of fade down the stretch, but didn't happen. Heart won out tonight, that's for sure.
Josh, this is the story of this Pittsburg High team all season long. I mean, nobody thought this team would be as good as they were last year. They lost their starting quarterback. They lost a lot of talent last year, their offensive line. So they thought that this team wouldn't be, you know, as productive as they are, and here they are proving them wrong. They just ignored all that, and they kept playing hard, and, you know, Coach Nick's got to love that. I mean, that's just fire, that's passion, and that's something that you got to appreciate. And then again, you know, it's a tale of two sides. You look at one side of the field, and you see enjoyment, excitement, and everything, and then you look over here, and you just see unison, though. You see something good, you know? I mean, these guys they played their butts off, too. They traveled 2.5 hours off. You got to credit Blue Valley.
An hour and a half. Come on, quit with the 2.5 hours.
I'm just calling it
an hour and a half. Come on.
But you got to credit Blue Valley North for that. And, you know, I saw a freshman play unbelievable at the quarterback position for them.
He did. He came through.
Bright future for that team.
But I'm just saying it's an hour and a half, and if they ever finish that highway, it'd just be an hour.
Yeah.
But
no, you're absolutely right. This is a big win for not just this team, but the community. I mean, you saw how packed this place was. It was almost filled up on both sides. It was good to see. It was loud. It was crazy. The band got into it. The pep club.
Yeah, everybody was into it.
Everybody was into this game, and the best part about it was we were able to do that for all 48 minutes of this game.
That's right. And, the Dragons, this one was a barn burner from the start. It's not like it was a slow burner and then caught on at the end.
Shelby White will appreciate that.
Yeah, the Dragons, they took a pick six back for, 60 yards in the first half? No, more like 80 yards in the first half. Joel Kafka did. And then it never let up after that. The Dragons jumped out to a 20-10 halftime lead, came out with the first possession, and that first half ended with a 100-yard pick six by Dylan White to give the Dragons that 20-10 lead. And then they came out with the first possession of the second half, go 70 yards, cap it off with a 10-yard touchdown pass to Kafka. And the Dragons looked to have the stranglehold on this game, 27-10, but then the offense stalled, kind of went into reverse, gave the ball back to Blue Valley North with great field position on 3 straight possessions. They score touchdowns, 21 unanswered, to come roaring back in the game, take that 30-27 or 31-27 lead, put the Dragons back up against the wall, and the offense, after stalling on possession after possession in the third and fourth quarter, put together a 90-yard drive to take the lead on a 10-yard touchdown pass to Brett Freeman to give the Dragons that 3-point lead, 30-27, and then the defense comes up with the pick in the end zone to finish the game. I mean, you don't get any more drama than that.
Yep.
And if you're Coach Sims, you kind of got to be kicking yourself for burning 2 timeouts on defense on that drive as Pittsburg High pushed it down the field. And but you can't say enough about the Dragons. They came up with plays when they needed them. Everybody on that roster who stepped onto that field tonight performed, and they come away with the win. And if there's any negative on the night for the Dragons, you had one injury to Rourke, and then you had some personal foul penalties on Jordan that you kind of want to get cleaned up and just tell him, hey, don't hurt your teammates. But other than that, man, this Dragon squad overcame adversity. They overcame some calls that didn't go their way, and they come away with the win tonight. And everybody in this stadium is smiling ear to ear. Everybody wearing purple anyway in this stadium is smiling ear to ear. And this is a big, big win for this team, and it tells them a lot about themselves. And they're going to have some swagger, I think, for the rest of this season after this win tonight.
And and this is the hard part about this is everybody's out on the field. We're playing the Where's Waldo game with Coach Nicholson.
I'm not holding my breath for Coach Nick tonight.
Not sure where he's out, but again, just a big overall win for this team, this community, everyone. And it's got to give you confidence and excitement for what this season's to come. Again, credit to Blue Valley North. They got a long trip home. It's going to be a little frustration.
It's going to be a little longer now.
Yeah. But again, got to keep your heads up because 0-3 season's not over. I mean, you got to keep going. You got districts and whatnot up there, and so they got to keep pounding. And then for next week, PHS, it's their rivals. They come into town. Fort Scott. Come in here into Hutchfield, and with the atmosphere it was tonight, Josh, I'm a little worried for Fort Scott next week because it's going to be even more rowdier than what it was tonight.
Yeah, Coach Cable's team is going to have their work cut out for them here next week, and is that homecoming as well here? I believe so.
Might be. So
I believe it is. I'm not usually privy to homecomings. I was never a homecoming queen candidate, but I think it is homecoming for Pittsburg High next week. But don't quote me on that. So the Dragons come out tonight on top. Great ball game, 34-31 over the Blue Valley North Mustangs, and the Dragons moved 3-0 on the season. The Mustangs fall to 0-3, a rough start, trying to defend their 6A state championship. It's going to be an uphill battle for them this season as they lost the services of Graham Mertz, their starting quarterback tonight.
Wish him the best. And
we do wish him the best. He was up moving around, had a brace on that right knee, and hopefully he's able to recover a little bit this week, and if not, make it back next week, hopefully the week after, because he was putting weight on it. It did look good, because when they took him off the field, he couldn't put weight on it. It looked bad, but good to see that young man out there moving around, and hopefully he'll be back this season to help out Blue Valley North. And even
If
he's not, they really learned something tonight about their freshman
Henry Martin
quarterback, Henry Martin. That kid is a gamer.
Yeah.
And he lost a heartbreaker here tonight, threw a pick to end the ball game, but they were in a situation where he had to throw it.
Yeah,
they weren't in a position to run the football there. Had to make a play, and it was picked off in the end zone, a tough end. But that kid's got some good football ahead of him, and I think Coach Sims can be happy with the fact that he knows he's got a quarterback for the next 3 or 4 years.
And on the other side of that, I asked a couple of guys around, and I do believe that was Jarek Butcher, the senior, with the interception. So no sweeter of a story there for Jarek as he
2 interceptions on the night.
Adds to his resume of a great senior campaign to him. And again, I'm not sure where Coach Nick is. We might be able to take a break and see if he'll come through here for us, but it's a bit of a guessing game.
Yeah. You know what? I think we'll just let him soak this one in and celebrate it. We'll just call it. So for Avi Sharma, my beautiful wife Jenny, running the camera for us tonight, and for Shelby back in the studio, we want to say
Emily.
Yes. Sorry, yes. Shelby White and Emily back in the studio. Thanks for joining us tonight here from Hutchison Field. You've been listening to Pittsburg High School football on ESPN 100.7 and streaming live on ESPN 1007.com.